Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment. Quality is job one. By Esso, going that extra mile. And by Pepsi, it's got what it takes.
And get ready, and the visiting team has to be ready before the home team.
Lemieux into the face-off circle against Jeremy Roenick. Puck goes to the boards. Lemieux and Roenick tie each other up. Paul Cavallini finally moves it ahead to Roenick. He breaks out. He has Zezel and Hull with him over to Roenick. .17:38, the time remaining in this still scoreless opening period. These are the people out of the lineup tonight. Mahar lost for the rest of the playoffs because of the injury. Basson out of the lineup for the Chicago Blackhawks tonight.
Replaced by Greg Gilbert, the leading plus forward for bringer back. Greg Gilbert is on the penalty-killing team, Don, and he also does a big job against another right winger who might be Brett Hull.
And in case I confused you, Jeremy Roenick plays for Chicago, not St. Louis. That was Momesso who brought that puck down the ice. This is Troy Murray in across the line. He's spun around. There's going to be a penalty against St. Louis. It will be Gord Roberts going off to the penalty box.
Right on the line, Gord Roberts tried to stay up, and Troy Murray hit that blue line at good speed, and that had to be called because Murray was going around. He threw the puck ahead of him, and you'll see Roberts, he'll just pull him right down. Otherwise, Murray might have made it in alone.
A power play opportunity for the Blackhawks. 17:29 remaining in the opening period. Creighton goes to the corner. Looks back to the line. Murray gives it back to Creighton. Goulet plays it back to Murray. He couldn't control it. It goes all the way down the ice. Delfer way out of his net in the corner to play it there for Murray. And then Delfer goes down as he was tripped. And there's going to be another penalty. I believe it was Ron Wilson who upset Ed Delfer. And it's going to be a two-man advantage for 1 minute and 32 seconds for the Hawks.
Ryan Sutter this morning was talking the fact that they had to get people in front of Belfer, but I don't think you want people on this kind of a play as Wilson took the feet right from under killing a penalty. He wanted traffic in front when the St. Louis Blues had the puck, but not on a play like that time.
And not only does Ron Wilson put the Blues two men down, but he is one of their most important penalty killers.
Well, certainly when you look at the way that these teams are taking penalties at a rate that is far, and that's often what hurts a team in the playoffs, although they're playing each other. The fact that you get into situations where a lot of your players that aren't on your specialty teams don't see a lot of action. Chicago has scored 8 of their 10 power play goals in the playoffs in the Chicago Stadium.
While the Blues almost 15 minutes more in penalties in the playoffs than incurred during regular season competition. So for 132, it's a two-man advantage for the Hawks. Jeremy Roenick over to Savard, and a whistle on the play. It's a two-line pass.
Well, Dennis Savard, a high-profile athlete in Chicago, and after talking with him, I think nothing has really changed with Dennis Savard. He has his little fits that he gets upset when things happen. He's a competitor. His production is down. That would bother him. But Keenan has shown the fact right now he's on the point with Wilson with a two-man advantage and lots of time left.
They may not agree on everything, but when it comes time to put his best players on the ice, Mike Keenan is going to have Denny Savard out there. Wilson knocks down a clearing attempt. He can't control it, though, and it's dumped down the ice by Zezel.
Wilson was very close to gloving that puck. In fact, the Blues bench give a yell at Fraser.
Here comes Savard, and again, it's offside. 1:01 remaining in the two-man advantage, and the Blackhawks have just not been able to penetrate the St. Louis zone.
They felt on their power play that they were giving up the puck too much by poor shoot-ins. Now with the Blues down 2, they've tried to make plays right at the blue line, and they've gone offside early. And this is a tremendously important one. And it was 1:01 left, 2 men short for the Blues, and you have to be so careful, though. Wilson came very close to drawing that penalty, because you know that Fraser is looking at that clock, seeing those 2 penalties up there.
Zezel, Cavallini, and Steps are out there killing off this two-man advantage. Troy Murray is waved out of the face-off circle. Larmer comes in. Now Savard moves him back to the point. He'll take the face-off against Zezel, and he gets the draw. Back to Larmer. Larmer flips it in for Presley. Back to the line to Doug Wilson. Traffic in front of the net. There's the shot. The save picked up in the corner by Presley. Presley with 7 playoff goals, 1 more than he scored during the regular season. Over to Wilson. At the side of the net to Savard. Savard looking, centering attempt, and that bounced away from Larmer. Wilson has it again. 34 seconds left in the two-man advantage. To Troy Murray. Back to Wilson. There's the shot. It didn't get through as it bounced off Zezel. Presley back to Savard, over to Wilson. 20 seconds left in the two-man advantage. At the side of the net, a centering attempt. Riendo keeps that out, and he manages to cover up.
Hawks have been just reluctant to shoot that puck from dead center. The Blues have got the 2 up front, and with Sneps is the only player back. They've tried that play into the side and across the net twice. It has to be a bang-bang pass, and you'll see here Wilson throws it across, and Savard fakes and he throws it right back into the corner, and they try that pass across, but they've got a right-hand shot on this side, and if that puck goes in front of him, he's not going to be able to get it. If it was a left-hand shot, it'd be an easy tip-in.
16 seconds remaining in the two-man advantage.
Well, you see Sneps is alone, and they're trying to make the play across, but Murray has to turn around. He actually kicked that puck. It wouldn't have been a goal anyways. Keenan really giving it to Presley. I think the fact that they want traffic in front, Presley has been on the side, and they've got 1 on the other side and only 1 in front.
Creighton against Oates. Savard is still out there. Wilson back on the point. Wilson is checked, and the puck comes out to center ice. Bob Murray moves it in to Larmer. He was checked just 5 seconds in the two-man advantage. There's the shot. Knocked down in front, and the Blues clear.
Not good percentage shots, Don. You take a shot from the point, there's nothing on it. It's too high.
The Blues just 1 man short now. Here's Larmer centering it. Savard takes a swipe at it. It goes wide. Larmer back to Wilson. There's a shot. It's knocked down and fired the length of the ice by Oates.
Well, you don't allow the crowd to get into the game, and the Blues have done a tremendous job of killing off this two-man disadvantage.
Still not a shot credited on this power play for the Hawks. Presley slides it into Creighton. He was checked. Presley gets it back again. The Blues at full strength. Creighton in the corner tried to flip it back to the point. There was nobody in position, and Murray has to chase it down in his own zone. And that will certainly give the Blues a lift, killing off a two-man advantage early in the hockey game. And it's an icing call against Chicago. 14:41 left in the opening period. As you can see, it's been an extremely close series in this Norris Division final. No team has had domination in any of the 3 periods.
Hawks were a strong second period club throughout the regular season, Don. They have 7 goals of their 17 in the second period. That's the only period they've had an edge in.
Face off to the right of Ed Belford. The Hawks have 6 shots, but none of them coming while they had that 2-man advantage. Cavallini centered. He was looking for Momesso. He couldn't get a stick on it. Zezel back to the net. Tried to slide it out to Hull, and it was knocked away. Back comes Chicago. Fired in by Sutter. Cavallini along the boards for Zezel. Zezel checked there by Brown. The puck kept in. Sutter is checked. Picked up by Momesso, and he dumps it out of the zone.
Blue style puts a lot of pressure on the wingers. Nothing fancy. The defense are told to get it up on the glass and move it out as quick as possible.
Lawler bangs it off the boards, picked up in the neutral zone by Trent Yanni. 13:49 remaining in the period. Dumped down the ice by the Hawks, and Riendo is forced to play it off to the corner. Ron Wilson puts it back of the net. Featherstone having some problems moving out against the forechecking of Savard. Savard and Goulet in the corner. They get it back to the point to Yanni. Yanni tried to play it again into the corner. Knocked away from him. Hull gets it up to Wilson. Wilson back to Hull. The shot, the quick release, and the save by Ed Belfour.
Wilson made the right play when Hull's with you 2-on-1. He was on his off wing. He didn't get quite as much on it. Maybe a little indecision by Brett Hull, but it was still hard enough that Belfour couldn't catch it, but he was smart enough to knock it down with his glove and then cover the rebound. There it is right there, enough on it, but Hull has shot them better. He would like to have it a little bit lower. Surprised that Wilson gave as much room, although he did see a Hawk back checker coming on Hull, and maybe that's what bothered Hull.
Belfour has an eagle painted on his mask. When he asked for a vicious bird to be designed for his mask, he thought he was going to get a hawk. He was told instead it's an eagle, so he's been nicknamed by his teammates Eddie the Eagle.
Called him up 3 weeks from the end of the season from Canada's national team. In fact, Dave King really brought this fellow along, and they were even thinking of using Ed Belfour in the World Championships if they weren't able to pick up the goalie that they wanted, although they had Kirk McLean. But Belfour really came along with that program.
Hard to believe that just 4 seasons ago, Belfour was playing Tier 2 junior hockey in Winkler, Manitoba. Jeff Brown from the point fires it wide. Presley picks it up along the boards. He breaks out, gives it across to Troy Murray. A shot saved by Riendo. It was heading for the corner, and Riendo picked it off, and now Sneps and Presley push and shove in front of the net.
And Troy Murray put the puck exactly where he wanted it. He put it low on the sticks on the glove side. You see Murray gets right around as the defenseman. There actually was Oates on playing back there, and what a save. Put it right in his glove, but you see he was going in on the forward. He put it right through Oates, and Oates tried to kick it. Put it right where he wanted, and Riendo had good position.
Riendo just a month ago broke in a new pair of pads. They are short pads, and he may be one of the few goaltenders in the National Hockey League, Scotty, to wear special knee pads underneath those goal pads.
Well, if they're too short, you're right, because the fact that the way they shoot the puck, if you're in a certain position, you can have that puck hit where there's no protection. You wear that little pad inside for that type of shot. He likes to move around. He's a tall goalie. I often felt a lot of goalies have pads that are too tall. He's got the short ones.
He said one of the reasons he went to those knee pads, he stopped a shot from Brett Hull in practice one day. Decided it was time. Backhander by Thomas goes up high over the net. He was sent flying by Paul Cavallini just as he let that shot go.
Should have felt good that he even stopped the shot, Don, I guess.
Yeah, most goalies are quite satisfied when they stop a blast by Brett Hull. Roberts flipping it along the boards down the ice. This will be an icing call as Manson goes back to touch it for Chicago. 12:36 remaining in the still scoreless opening period. Brian Sutter has spoken so glowingly about the play of Rod Brind'Amour this year.
Ron Caron, the general manager, this morning was talking about the fact that he was born in Ottawa after a couple of years, grew up in the Vancouver area, and went to that famous school in Notre Dame, Wilcox, Saskatchewan. And of all the Blues, when they did go in their slump, his plus and minus stayed on the plus side. And he said for a young player, he has been so good defensively. And that's why a Sutter will play a Brind'Amour in every situation.
Brind'Amour was an outstanding player for Canada at the World Junior Championships in Alaska 2 years ago. This player starred for the United States team, Jeremy Roenick of the Blackhawks, in that same tournament.
2 years ago, playing for Thayer Academy, high school hockey. Now playing in the Stanley Cup playoff.
12:36 remaining in the scoreless opening period. The face-off to the left of Vincent Riendo. The Blackhawks have had the better of the play, but they have not been able to get a puck into that St. Louis net.
What it does, you're all pumped up to start the game. You get the two-man advantage. You don't score. and you're sitting there and the crowd is just waiting for one trickle of hope and do something that can get them on their feet.
Keith Brown, the Blackhawk Bill Masterton Trophy nominee, and according to Coach Mike Keenan, Brown and Wilson have been his best defensemen in the playoffs.
Oh, he's the best conditioned athlete, Keith Brown, and when he went down with the injury, the Hawks really went in a tailspin and just came out in time to finish first place.
Gilbert, his first shift of the hockey game. He did not dress for Game 4 in St. Louis. Now it's Hull moving it ahead to Ron Wilson. All he can do is deflect it down into the Chicago zone. Along the boards, Conroy trying to get it out of there. Kept in. Here's Hull. Hull in front from Memesso. He couldn't get a shot away as he was checked by Brown. Back comes Chicago for Savard. The shot, the save, the big rebound. And Larmer was unable to get a shot away. He had taken the rebound on his backhand and couldn't release it. And Riendo managed to cover up.
Blues defense has been trying to stay up, and on that play there, Ron Wilson, it doesn't happen very much. He looked to his left, and Savard was able to get through because the defense felt that he was covered. And see, Wilson just looked one way. Savard got the jump on him, didn't get enough on it right at Riendo. And the Hawks have had a chance at a lot of rebounds that they haven't been able to really handle. You see here, Larmer comes in, but doesn't get close enough to do enough damage on the rebound.
Vincent Riendo has faced 8 shots, and I would say at least half of them, Scotty, have been quality shots.
You want to get the feel of the puck. He's had enough of the feel right now, but it has really boosted his style and confidence. He's a goalie that has to play out of his angle, keep his angles well, and at least when you stop the pucks early, you're not drifting back into the net.
Face-off to the left of Riendo. The draw comes back to the line. There's a shot. It doesn't get through. Sutter behind his goal for Snets. Snets is hit by Roenick. Roenick along the boards. He takes a return jolt from Snets. The two of them battle again behind the goal as the puck comes out the other side. And Brindamore flips it up ice. And now we've got a scrap going on in the corner. Trent Yanni. And I'm not sure who the St. Louis player is.
What happened, Don, is the puck went around the sideboards, and they initially collided, and then they decided to try to settle it by dropping their sticks. But Lowry, there's a lot of pucks that come around the boards for the St. Louis Blues. They put a lot of pressure on their wingers.
So Trent Yanni and Lowry are heading off to the penalty box with 11:35 left in the period. Lowry in the penalty box along with Trent Yanni. 11:35, the time remaining in this first period. The Blackhawks have had the edge in play and in shots on goal, but it is still scoreless.
Lowry and Wilson and Sutter have done a good job against the Savard line. But you see the pucks end up on the side, and there's the first collision, and Yanni comes in to pinch. Lowry's going to try to take him out of the play, and they end up punching. With the exception maybe of Jeff Brown, most of the St. Louis defensemen don't handle the puck a lot. It's their style. They're not offensive defensemen. That's why they went out and made the deal to trade Millen to get an offensive defenseman, Jeff Brown.
Goulet moves it back to Bob Murray. Up along the boards for Roenick. Roenick is checked. However, the Blues can't do anything with it. And Murray will try again to set something up from his own zone. Ahead to Goulet. Goulet tried to flip it in, got it back again. He was looking for Creighton, but the pass was behind him. Creighton in the corner, trying to move it out front. Creighton slides it to the side of the goal. Riendo grabbed for it, but it was knocked away from him. Roenick attempted to get it back to the point, but Rich Sutter flipped it out of the zone. Dumped back in by Murray. Gord Roberts goes back after it. On the right side for Cavallini. He fires it in high over top of the Chicago net. Larmer to Manson. Manson starting out slowly, looking for someone to give it to. Spots Savard. Savard trying to get around Roberts. He's upended. The fans react, but there's no penalty call. Savard controlling back of the net. Gives it out to Conroy. His shot right on, and the save by Riendo. And a Chicago player goes flying into the St. Louis goal. Steve Larmer knocked down, and the St. Louis net also knocked off its supports.
Gord Roberts was able to give a little flip. Savard maybe a bit of a dive, and Fraser was on this side of the rink. Savard seems possessed tonight, though. He's been really moving in that neutral zone, causing some scoring chances. But Roberts and Wilson, Doug Wilson, they get, if you can just focus on those players in front of the net, they get away with a lot of marginal fouls. And Gord Roberts is just the same as Doug Wilson. They just know when to tug and when to let go.
10:31 remaining in this opening period. No score. The Blackhawks and the Blues.
See, there's Roberts. He's got a hold of Larmer and forced him.
Lawler fires it out of the zone. Going back after it is Keith Brown. Round the boards for Gilbert. Gilbert takes a hit there from Ron Wilson, but manages to free it for Savard to Wilson. Picked up in the zone by Featherstone. He actually threw it out across the blue line. Featherstone gets it again. Tries to bang it out. Knocked down at the line. Savard into the slot area for Larmer. And it slid right through to Riendo before Larmer could get a stick on it.
The Hawks have got all the pressure you want right now, but no goals.
Words being exchanged back of the St. Louis net. Nothing serious develops. 9:58 remaining in period one.
Tomorrow night, Hockey Night in Canada will be in Boston for Game 5 of the Adams Final. The Canadians avoiding the sweep last night. Game 5 Friday night, 7:30 Eastern, and we'll move on to St. Louis for game number 6 of the Norris Final Saturday. That's an 8:30 Eastern start. The Hawks and the Blues.
Offsetting minor penalties assessed against Wilson and Murray for unsportsmanlike conduct. As a result of that exchange behind the goal, Keith Brown pinching in from the point. Harold Sneps gains control. He flips it out of the zone. Sneps did not dress for game 4 in St. Louis on Tuesday night. Battle directly in front of the Chicago bench along the boards. Pried loose by St. Louis. They fire it in. Wilson up along the boards for Thomas. He couldn't chop it out. Paul McLean attempted to center it. It was blocked. And back comes Chicago, led by Thomas. He has Presley with him along with Roenick. Tried to flip it across ice, and it was broken up by Adam Oates. Going back after it is Bob Murray. 9:14 remaining in this still scoreless opening period at Chicago Stadium. Clearing attempt is blocked. At the side of the net, Oates couldn't get a stick on it as Tuttle tried to slide it through.
Oates has not scored in the playoffs for St. Louis. The Chicago team has tried to be as physical against Adam Oates as possible.
Oates has 10 assists but has yet to score a goal. Tuttle runs into Hull at the blue line. Loose puck picked up by Chicago. Here comes Creighton. Creighton trying to get around Cavallini. Cavallini rides him out of the play. Lemieux was bodied, and back comes Brind'Amour to Tuttle. Tuttle, long shot, right on. Belfort out of his net, playing it off the glass and out of the zone. There's an opportunity for Chicago. Lemieux moving in. He centers it. Goulet rang it off the side of the net. Brown took a shot from the point, knocked down in front of the goal, dumped out of the zone. Savard fires it back in.
Blues are really trying to stay up, and they've been caught a couple of times right at their own blue line.
Savard in the center ice area. He's out there with Secord. The two of them in across the line. Secord with the shot. The save by Riendo. Wilson tried to keep it in at the blue line on that clearing attempt. It was offside, and then Rich Sutter pushes and shoves with Wilson. Secord steps in, but nothing serious is going to develop. It's still scoreless. 7:56 left in the period. Ed Belfour in goal for the Blackhawks. Hasn't had a great deal of work in this first period. Just 3 shots. None of them really difficult. While at the other end, Vincent Riendo has had 9 shots to contend with, and half of them at least have been very difficult saves. Rich Sutter along the boards, checked by Manson, and they tie it up for a faceoff.
Hawks feel that if they put some speed on the outside, they were button hooking most of the last 2 games in St. Louis, going around, gaining the blue line, but not trying to penetrate on the outside. So it's helped the Blues defense. They're not the speediest defense in the league, and the fact that if you go on the outside and force them, though, they might draw some penalties. Tonight they've been trying to go on the outside and go to the net more.
Manson, a former Memorial Cup Junior champion with Prince Albert back in 1985. 7:43 remaining in the period. Zezel against Roanoke. It comes back to Manson. Manson cross ice to Bob Murray. Long shot right on, and Riendo holds it for a faceoff.
Normally the position that Brett Hull would be on right wing at Brindamore and Zezel, but Hull has missed a couple of shifts on that right side. Jacques Floutier, acquired in September from the Buffalo Sabres, had his career high of 18 wins this year. He's now ready to play. He's been out since late March, or the 25th of March. Curtis Joseph, who came in here and did a great job after they traded Millen, and Ron Caron continues to astound the experts, trading away veterans and coming up with fellas like Joseph and Riendo.
There are just 3 players on the St. Louis roster in the game that were draft selections of the St. Louis Blues. All the others were signed either as free agents or Ron Caron traded for.
And this is a team that missed an entire draft year, 1983.
At the point, a shot knocked down in front. Harold Snetz managed to get a stick on it. Loose puck in front of the goals. It is cleared to the corner. Zezel is knocked down, gets back on his feet, gets it again to Sutter. Sutter bangs it off the boards, trying to get it out. It deflected out of play. 7:07 is the time left in period 1.
Here's the CBC Sports Weekend lineup for Saturday afternoon. The Long Beach Grand Prix, plus the World Cross Country Running Championships and the Diet Coke Ski Invitational. That's coming up on CBC Sports Weekend, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific on Saturday.
Scotty, we've gone a spell without seeing Brett Hull out there for the St. Louis Blues.
4th shift on the right side. McLean's had 2 of them, and Sutter's had 1, and Hull has not been out.
It didn't appear as though Hull had any problems, that he had any injury that would keep him on the bench. Clearing attempt by Chicago. It goes all the way down the ice. Back after it is Lawler. And as it's fired out of the zone, it deflects over the glass and out of play off the stick of Cavallini.
The St. Louis defense, Featherstone, he was right over near the Hawk bench. He's been playing on the right defense, and he came all the way over, and I don't know, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong. I doubt if a coach would have benched Brett Hull in this part of the game, unless they're trying to juggle their lines around. And you're on the other side and you're coaching against the Hull and he's not out there. You know, you have your plan ready, who's going to check him, and then you keep looking, he's not there.
Well, there doesn't appear to be anything physically wrong with Brett Hull, but for 4 shifts now, he has not been on the ice, which comes as a surprise.
27 power play goals, leads the league in the regular season, game winners, any category, shots on goal. What a season.
Only 3 players have ever scored more in the National Hockey League. Gretzky, Lemieux, and Esposito. Savard is hit. Cavallini ran into him. The puck comes back into the St. Louis zone. Fired out by the Blues, and as Manson goes back to touch it, this will be an icing call.
Well, Don, you look at a fellow like Brett Hull. The question is, will the Blues sign him? They feel they will, but he's not signed right now.
Paul McLean, 34 goals this year. In 8 of his 9 seasons in the National Hockey League, he has scored 30 or more goals. Only in 85-86 with Winnipeg, when he scored just 27 goals and missed 11 games, was he below the 30-goal mark.
The knock that people had on Paul McLean has been dispelled by St. Louis. He's been an excellent man in the dressing room. He's had very good work habits for a lot of good young players that are on this team. So, you know, Detroit Red Wings, that trade with Oates and McLean coming over here made a big difference to this St. Louis team, and McLean has rewarded them once again, like you said, with the production that McLean has given both Winnipeg, Detroit, and now St. Louis.
Ron Wilson wins the draw. The puck loose in the corner. Paul Cavallini bangs it along the boards. Can't get it out. Jocelyn Lemieux ties up his man, forcing another face-off in the St. Louis zone.
Blues have kind of got away from that checking line of Sutter and Wilson. Wilson's maybe been out there the most of any St. Louis Blue and playing at center ice. One of the two Cavallini brothers, his brother led the league, but Gino Cavallini really scoring that big goal with 9 seconds remaining in overtime, in regulation, to put the Blues ahead in this series.
One of a number of outstanding National Hockey League players who have come out of Bowling Green University.
Gary Galley scored that big goal in Boston, and Blues have another one on the roster, Nelson Emerson. He's not here, but he's got all scoring records of Bowling Green.
6:15 remaining in the period. Again, Wilson wins the draw. Moved across to Paul Cavallini, up to McLean. McLean dumps it in. Belfer tried to play it off the glass and out, and it went over the glass, out of play. And is there going to be a penalty assessed against Belfer with 6:06 remaining? Well, Mike Keenan isn't happy with the penalty call of Kerry Fraser. He has called Ed Belfer for delay of game. Belfer tried to play that puck off the glass and out. Instead, it went over the glass and out of the crowd.
You could look at this one as he's saying that the St. Louis player touched it, Keenan is, but it did not touch it. He reached for it, but it went over the glass. The glass goes down about 1.5 feet after it leaves the end zone.
There's no uniformity in NHL rinks as to the height of the glass.
The higher the glass, the more pucks kept in. Big factor, Boston Garden, highest glass.
So the Blues, having weathered that two-man disadvantage, now have a power play of their own. Brindamore tried to slide it into the corner. It comes back to the point. There's the shot. They score! From the point, Adam Oates with his first playoff goal.
And the crowd is stunned. The fact St. Louis power play only second to the Rangers in the playoffs. It was a simple play. They never got it out right on the face-off. And Adam Oates, who's played so well in the Blues power play, they've got a lot of good puck handlers. He just drifts it in. And you'll see right from the face-off, the fake play came across Brown. He threw it in, and it was actually a missed play. And it ends up right back, a cross-ice pass. That's kind of against the grain. And Belfer was beaten on a shot from the blue line that he saw.
Adam Oates, after being shut out through the first 9 games of the playoffs, gets his initial goal of postseason activity.
See, the goalie has to come a long way, and maybe when you see he was on the left side, and the puck beat him on the right side, he didn't get over.
Oates had a club record 73 assists this year for the St. Louis Blues, 10 playoff assists, and tonight his first goal. And the team that has scored first in this series has been the winner.
That's right, in both these clubs, that first goal has meant so much in these playoffs.
Jeremy Roenick runs into Cavallini. Ron Wilson loses it at the side of the net. Roenick tries to jam it, and it's covered up by Vincent Riendo.
St. Louis goal is first in the playoffs, scored by number 12, Adam Oates.
5:41, the time remaining in this opening period. Zezel and Brindamore drawing assists on the goal by Adam Oates at 14:05.
Assisted by Zezel and Brindamore at 14:05.
And it would appear that a penalty occurred on this play. Double minors being assessed, actually.
Jeremy Roenick was able to come out of the left side, number 27 for the Hawks, to get a shot on goal. And in fact, Brian Sutter was talking with Curtis Joseph. It looked like he might be considering a goalie change, but after 15 minutes, he's got to be very happy with the play of Riendo.
When we talked with him this morning, Scotty, he said he was a little uncertain as to whether or not he would make the switch with Joseph perhaps replacing Riendo. And in the morning workout, there was really no hint as to which goaltender was going to be starting either.
There's a guy that isn't, reluctant to change goalies at any time in a playoff game. And now with Greg Millen not dressed, Jacques Cloutier was the backup for Chicago. He would get the nod.
Giving Mike Keenan the nickname Captain Hook.
I think it was 5 out of 10 games that Millen was taken out and didn't finish that he started.
5:41 left in the period. Adam Oates, power play goal. The only score so far. Back to the point to Manson. There's the shot. It's fired wide. Brown from the other side. It's wide. Back to the net. Cavallini tries to clear. Brown had been knocked down at the blue line by Lowry. It's kicked ahead to Sutter. Sutter taken out of the play by Manson. Rindamore is checked. Presley flips it around the boards. Picked up by the Blues. Lowry took a shot off a skate. Rindamore unable to move out from the corner. He's knocked down by Presley. And finally Lowry and Sutter managed to tie it up.
Scored a big short-handed goal, a winning goal in one of the wins over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Rich Sutter. They've used him exclusively, though, in this series to try to shut down Savard and Larmer, along with Lowry and Ron Wilson in the middle. But the importance of that last sequence by the Hawks, 2 shots from the blue line. First Manson missed the net, then it came on the other side. It was Murray, and consequently, as the puck got out, created a scoring chance for St. Louis.
I asked Rich this morning if he had any problems moving from Vancouver to St. Louis playing for his brother. He said no. He said, I treat him as I would any other coach. I show him respect.
Well, you've got one Hawk, Dwayne Sutter, the Sutter family, but you also have Darryl Sutter coaching their farm team in Indianapolis, which most observers feel will be a prime candidate to move into the NHL in the coaching ranks.
Might even be right here in Chicago. Mike Keenan
may move up in a year as general manager.
5:08 remaining in the period. 1-0. The Blues leading Chicago. Zezel against Savard. Face off to the left of Ed Belfer, and now there's going to be a delay. Some debris was thrown down on the ice from the crowd.
Zezel was so strong in Game 4 on the face-offs. The Hawks wanted to show some video and talk to the supervisor, Wally Harris, but I've noticed tonight his stick has been down most of the time first, like the visiting team centerman has to be.
Yanni had skated into the circle before the puck was dropped. Savard tied up Zezel, and Doug Wilson moved in to pick up the puck. He tried to hit Savard in the neutral zone as he was breaking. Couldn't quite pick it up. Wilson moves it around to the other side to Larmer. Larmer is checked by Momesso, and he just cut away from him as he moves out. Rink wide to Gilbert. Gilbert flips it in. Riendo steers it to the corner. Banged up along the boards, not out. Yanni managed to keep it in, then he's checked, and Ron Wilson comes back. Wilson flipped it in. Hull racing in after it. Wilson got there first. Doug Wilson for the Hawks. Cross ice to Yanni, ahead to Larmer. 3 of them in across the line. Long shot by Larmer, and Riendo kicked that to the corner. Back to the point. Keith Brown with a shot. It's blocked in front by Harold Snept, and there's a penalty coming up.
Greg Gilbert that nailed as Sneps blocked the shot. Gilbert come in, give him a shot. The Hawks have had a lot of chances from that point. Keith Brown let that one go. They've been so happy with Harold Snepp talking with this coaching staff today. Here's one of the ones he'll save. Snepp makes the save, and Gilbert's all over him. Sneps has brought, what he's brought to the club is his usual work ethic, but he's been very aggressive like he always has, and he has an awful lot of respect of the opposition. So they haven't taken as many chances with the St. Louis defense when Snap's out there.
While he brings experience to the Blues, he's number 2 on the club in playoff games. This is his 83rd postseason game. Only Gordie Roberts has more playoff experience for the Blues. Mike Keenan has to be disturbed at the ineffectiveness of his power play early in the hockey game, where they had the crowd on their side and could have taken control, and then he saw the Blues come back and score very quickly on their power play.
Type of period, if you're coaching, you say to yourself, the way they've played, they certainly don't deserve to be down. They're down one, and now they're out killing another penalty.
Adam Oates playing the point on the power play, scoring the goal. Troy Murray in checking for Chicago, trying to kill off this penalty. Zezel is spun around. It's knocked away from him. Picked up by Lemieux. Long shot right on Riendo. And now the Blues are having their problems organizing this power play. Oates out of his own zone. He'll drive it in. Farmer along the boards was checked. It goes to the other side. Manson gains control. He dumps it out.
Oh, it's a good point, man. No, they've been really working on their shoot-ins. That cross-ice pass puts a lot of pressure on Larmer on the far side. They should have come up with the puck.
On that clearing attempt, the puck was contacted with a high stick, resulting in the whistle with 1:04 remaining in the penalty.
Well, he's given them to mention Jeff Brown the fact of his tremendous shot from the point. He's very calm and very cool. In fact, when they acquired him, they adhered to the fact that he lacked intensity, and that was no problem after talking with Bob Berry and Coach Brian Sutter. The fact if they can get him, they're a pretty intense club, St. Louis, and he's fitted in very well.
And some have suggested that Brian Sutter instilled a much better work ethic in Jeff Brown than he had experienced before.
Well, he wanted out of Quebec. He finally signed a contract, and I think they were looking at the fact that they made a deal. They were looking for a goaltender, and it didn't work out. The fact that they got Greg Millen and had to trade him to Chicago.
That trade on December 14th with Brown coming to St. Louis and Greg Millen going to Quebec. And Millen, of course, subsequently traded to the Chicago Blackhawks, but not pressed tonight. Ron Wilson, who was acquired on January 22nd. He was an assistant coach with Moncton in the American League when the Winnipeg Jets gave St. Louis permission to talk with him and negotiate a deal. The Jets, in exchange, got Doug Evans. Hull gives it to Paul McLean. McLean to the point to Brown. There's a shot. Rebound. And the Blues, Brett Hull, couldn't get a shot away. Belfer made the initial save, and Hull at the side of the net couldn't get a shot away. McLean has it back to the point. It bounced away from Jeff Brown.
And Belfer did not get up. If Brett Hull wasn't checked so closely by our Hawk defenseman, he would have had a chance to get it up.
7 seconds remaining in the penalty. Goulet forcing the play back at the line. Brown moves it to Ron Wilson. Wilson goes cross ice. Jeff Brown trying to center it. He's taken in against the boards by Goulet as the penalty ends. Cavallini's shot from the point at the side of the net, picked up by Doug Wilson. 2:02 remaining in the period. Ahead to Denny Savard. In across the line with Gilbert going for the net. There's the shot, and it's kicked up into the crowd by Riendo.
Riendo made the save with his left skate, and it's amazing that Savard took the shot. It's a shot you'd think he would be stopped with the stick, but he's showing good flexibility. He's been able to move his legs. He's got very quick legs, and he makes the save on Savard. They've been able to go up the middle, the Hawks. Chance that Brown lets it go, and you'll see here, this is when Belfer collapses, but boy, if he's struggling to get back into position, and Red Hull knows when he's behind that goal line, he can't put it in, but good save there as Belfer was able to get up and force Hull to go a foot behind.
And it was Steve Larmer who got a stick on Hull's stick, preventing him from getting a shot away. 1:54 left in this opening period. 1-0 St. Louis leading on a power play goal by Adam Oates. Meso in the corner for St. Louis. Playing it up along the boards. Oates tried to move it, and Tuttle was there to tie it up for a faceoff.
You're wondering what line you'd want to check if you're the St. Louis Blues strategy department. The fact that Roenick and Thomas and Presley have been a strong line. Presley's had a tremendous playoff, and that's what Keenan was talking about, the fact that Savard and Larmer, if they don't start to put pucks in the net, you know that the checking of the other club is going to be focused on some other players, fellas like Presley and Roenick.
Ron Caron has to be absolutely delighted with the trade he made, acquiring Peter Zezel from Philadelphia for Mike Muller.
Well, Zezel has brought them the offense as well as a tremendous face-off man, and You know, if the player needs a change. He was a member of some pretty good teams in Philadelphia under coach Mike Keenan.
Zezel against Murray in that face-off circle. Tuttle and Jocelyn Lemieux had both moved too quickly. And they're going to wave Murray out of the circle. And Lemieux will step in against Zezel. 1:38 left in the period. 1-0. The St. Louis Blues leading Chicago. Game 5 of this Norris Division final. The series tied at 2 games each. Tuttle bangs it off the boards with Trent Yanni retreating into his own zone. Steve Thomas overskated it. Following up on the play, Doug Wilson knocked it up. Yanni picks it up, flips it high into the St. Louis zone. And at the side of the net, Riendo grabs it and holds it for another faceoff. And Riendo, in almost every stoppage in play, removes his mask, and he does it again. It doesn't matter whether it's on a difficult save or just a routine stop. If there is a whistle, Riendo will remove his mask.
Troy Murray, as he's trying what Zezel was getting away with in St. Louis. Anticipate the drop, not come to a halt when you put the stick on the ice. And linesmen, it's obvious that the linesmen have been talked to, Ron Finn and Wayne Bonney, the fact that they're not going to make sure, they're going to make sure if the player is trying to anticipate the drop, he's out of the face-off circle.
Troy Murray, a Calgary native, played at North Dakota, a number 3 draft choice out of North Dakota in 1980 by the Blackhawks.
Hawks have got to be wondering, though, they've registered 15 shots. There must be another 6 or 8 shots from the point that haven't been on the net. They've had all the play and they're down a goal.
Just 4 shots directed at Ed Belfour so far. The Blues operating at 25% on their shots. Brind'Amour is checked. The puck knocked out to Al Secord. Secord takes a hit from Rich Sutter, forcing a turnover, and Lowry shoots it into the Chicago zone as we move into the final minute of the period. Manson fired it straight up the middle, and that was almost intercepted at the point.
They're trying to go up the middle, especially to Savard. The Blues defense, though, there's no gap between the defense and forwards.
Spin around shot by Sutter. It went off Manson. Then the Hawks were a little careless in their own zone as to who was going to pick up that loose puck.
They're frustrated as well as getting flustered, but the way the Blues defense has been able to stand up, there hasn't been much room, and that's been a big factor. They're not that quick, but there's no gap.
31 seconds the time remaining in the period. It's been a slow period, despite the fact there has been only 1 goal.
You've seen it so often. Your power play doesn't generate the crowd. This crowd was so noisy prior to the game, but it's been quiet and right down. The Blues scoring quickly, and when they had the chance at the man advantage on the shot from the blue line by Adam Oates, and which beat Belfour, and I thought Belfour should have had it.
Oates will move in to take the face-off against Presley. Or will it be Roanoke? It's going to be Roanoke moving into the face-off circle.
Sneps moves up like a left winger, and Hull takes his spot on the point if Oates ever draws it back.
However, Roanoke wins the draw. Manson comes up with the puck. Manson moves out of his own zone, threw it rink wide, too far for Adam Creighton. 17 seconds left in the period. Manson again in his own zone. He was being pressured by Oates, just threw it out into the center ice area, picked up by Roanoke. Roanoke in across the line to Presley, is shot right on. 3 seconds left in the period. Creighton at the side of the net couldn't get a shot away as the horn sounds to end the period.
Big period for the St. Louis Blues.
He can make the last change. Wayne Presley drives it in for Chicago. Murray racing along the boards. He couldn't get to it. Meso for the Blues fired it out of the zone. Picked up now by Lawler. He drives it in. Belfour leaves it back to the goal for Manson. Second period just underway. Steve Thomas trying to force the play in the St. Louis zone, but the Blues come back, led by Zezel. Zezel Spins around, flips it in for Memesso. Memesso is checked by Keith Brown. Memesso trying to work away from him, manages to get to the puck, then is knocked down. The puck bouncing in that Chicago zone. Finally, Keith Brown flips it down the ice.
Kept my eye on Steve Thomas. He tried to pick up Brett Hull from the blue line back. But the danger is when you see your own team's going to get the puck, you leave him. Hull circles and gets in position, the best in the league.
I talked about the Blues having just 3 draft choices in the lineup. Glenn Featherstone is one, Steve Tuttle another, and Rod Brindamore the third. Peter Zezel acquired in a trade with Philadelphia.
That's a big factor when you're looking at a Hull. If you don't go after him and follow him around entirely in your own half or your own defensive zone, he seems to be able to have that knack of just lulling around and getting into open spots. Denny Savard had a good first period for the Hawks. They've been trying to go up the middle on Savard. If they can get that puck to him in that neutral zone, he can put some speed around this St. Louis defense.
The draw comes back to Roberts. There's his shot, kicked to the corner by Belfour. Cavallini racing in from the point, centers it, and Belfour makes a big save off Tuttle. Tuttle tried to deflect it, and Belfour came across with the pad to keep it out.
Type of game the Blues like to get into, though, on the road, get an early goal and play very carefully.
Hull just blindly hammered it off the boards out of his own zone. It's picked up by Wilson now. Deflected ahead to Savard, working against Roberts. He crosses with Larmer, manages to control it, gives it to Yanni. All he can do is flip it back to the goal. Roberts gets it again. Plays it up along the boards. Kept in at the point by Gilbert. Cavallini trying to move out of his own zone. Good move to get away from a check. He feeds Tuttle. In across the line. He drops it off for Hull. Hull moving in. Belfour moved across the goal with him. Hull could not get a shot away.
Steve Conroy got caught going behind Brett Hull.
Great scoring opportunity for the man who led the league in goals this year. And we had Gilbert hurt as he was hammered into the boards, resulting in a stoppage in play with 17:52 left in the period.
Greg Gilbert goes in, and I think you'll see the stick of a St. Louis Blue get him right in the face area. He went down, nobody detected it. In fact, Greg Gilbert got nicked a little bit, but they made the line change. He's fine.
Mike Keenan is always late with making his line change. Again, he got the players out there just before Terry Fraser lowered his arm. Here comes Thomas. Long shot kicked to the corner by Riendo. Sutter bangs it off the boards and out. Keith Brown will fire it in. He takes a hit from Lowry as he drives it into the zone. Jeff Brown plays it up along the boards, not out. Roenick spun around and took a shot, but it went off a stick to the corner. Roenick steps into Lowry. The puck slides back into Chicago territory. A whistle on the play.
A pretty good matchup before. Brindamore and Jeremy Roenick going head-to-head against each other. But just before that play, look at Roenick's record, and he came on after a slow start in his first 20 games, had all kinds of trouble, had lost his confidence, but then came on with a real tear. In fact, last year in the playoffs, Roenick, you'll see him put a hit here. Dave Lowry trying to sneak by, and Roenick giving him everything he has. But he had a big playoff last year as the Hawks knocked out the Blues in 5 games, especially that 5th game in St. Louis. Lost a couple of teeth, and that's when Keenan said, this guy is for real. He was tremendously impressed with him, and he started off slowly, but now has become, he will be in time maybe the best Hawk forward they'll have.
He lost that tooth in the playoff series last year. He lost the same tooth in the playoff series against Minnesota this year. From the face-off, the puck is deflected over the glass and into the crowd. 17-16 remaining in the second period. 1-0. The Blues hanging on to that 1-goal advantage.
Hawks were determined on in the face-off area. They did much better in the first period than they did in the entire third fourth game in St. Louis.
Doug Wilson, cross ice to Yanni, ahead to Murray. Murray fires it in. Goulet picking it up off the board, centering it. Creighton couldn't deflect it. Kept in by Goulet. Creighton races to the corner, takes a hit there from Featherstone, uses his strength to move it back to the net, however. Picked up by Murray. Murray was looking to the point. The man was covered. Tried to flip it back to the net. Now Wilson comes in from the point to keep it in. Goulet gets it, lets a shot go right on. Creighton back of the goal for Murray. He bumps with McLean. It's kicked loose, picked up by Featherstone of the Blues. He dumps it down the ice with Yanni retreating for Chicago.
We saw good defensive zone coverage by the Blues defense, and Sutter throwing good checks in her defensive zone.
Here's a pass to Cavallini, his shot right on. Belfer makes the save. Paul Cavallini keeps it in. He lets a shot go. It's blocked. Away goes Lemieux. He's got a breakaway. Scores!
Jocelyn Lemieux's first NHL playoff goal as he breaks away. He's in his 20th game in the playoffs and puts it right on the stick side of Vincent Riendo. See him heads up, gets the spot, puts it in like a veteran. Jocelyn Lemieux has electrified this crowd, and amazing the fact that he was involved in the deal as Riendo and Momesso came to St. Louis, and Lemieux went to Montreal and he had a good spot, put it where he wanted it.
Jocelyn Lemieux, originally a draft choice of the St. Louis Blues, and he picked this spot on Riendo to tie the game at 1. He was selected by the Blues in 1986, the #1 pick. Racing back after it is Conroy. This is an icing call against St. Louis. Well, this crowd, I don't think I have to tell you, you can hear it, is certainly back in this hockey game.
He broke away, he got the puck right behind the center ice zone. The fact that the Blues defense have not backed up and they got caught in the neutral zone, and their lack of speed on the other side, they couldn't catch it.
You know, when Jocelyn Lemieux and Riendo were traded, it was August 9th, 1988, but their trade paled in significance to another trade that was made on that same day. Wayne Gretzky sold, traded, whatever, to the Los Angeles Kings. .51 remaining in the second period. Murray from the point, a long shot deflected just wide. Loose in front of the St. Louis net, brought out now by Momesso. He has Hull with him. Momesso lets the shot go, and it's held by Belfer with Hull trying to drive for the goal.
On that last shot from the inside the blue line, I think it was Dwayne Sutter was really knocked back behind the goal line by Gordie Roberts, and Kerry Fraser was looking what was happening out at the blue line, and he just knocked Sutter right down on a check that would have been a penalty had Fraser seen it.
4 Stanley Cups with the New York Islanders. Here's the shot by Murray. Now watch the hit.
That's the one we're talking about, and he hasn't touched the puck yet. Gord Roberts, like I mentioned, keep your eye on he and also Doug Wilson. Not too many players take liberties around. They get away with a lot. And now he hits the goal, and Riendo looks up and has a few words with him. And what a campaigner, though, Dwayne Sutter.
Character players, all of the Sutters who have performed in the National Hockey League, and it appears as though Dwayne Sutter is not feeling well after that hit by Roberts.
153rd playoff game for Dwayne Sutter. That's 2 full regular seasons.
One the score, 15:34 left in the period. Jocelyn Lemieux scored that tying goal, flips it down the ice. Cesar trying to get away from Lemieux. Lemieux stays right with him, knocks him down, but DeMesso picks up the puck and fires it into the Chicago zone. Conroy around to Bob Murray. He pushes it ahead to Troy Murray. He drives it in. Gilbert back to the point. Manson with a long shot. That deflects to the corner. They score!
You saw Jocelyn Lemieux just got off. There he is there. And Manson takes the shot. It looks like it goes way up in the air and goes in behind Riendo. And Troy Murray will get credit for a goal that hit him and went straight up. And this will be a good view as Riendo's looking at the shot coming in. It's way up in the air. You can't see it, Don. What a beautiful bounce for Chicago.
It looked as though it was deflecting to the corner. It went way up in the air and came directly down and bounced into the net. Riendo had no idea where it was.
And you know, it was a pretty close play at the Hawk Blue bench because all I saw was Jocelyn Lemieux going off, and you saw Manson in front of him with the puck. I think it was Manson. Was it who took the shot? And finally, the puck went up, and unfortunately for Riendo, it got in behind him.
Well, that's one of the strangest goals that has been scored in a long time in playoff action. 2-1, the Blackhawks now in front. Here comes Thomas. He's stuck. Kelly Chase in the corner. Banked off the boards and down the ice. Manson goes back after it.
The buzz is back, though, in the Chicago Stadium. The crowd electrified.
Snaps, finds it into Tuttle. He fanned on the shot. Tuttle out front. Backhander, and the save made by Belfer, and he grabs the loose puck. Rich Sutter let the shot go, and then as he moved in, he took a hit from behind. 14:26 remaining in the period. The Hawks leading by a goal. Troy Murray is probably telling his teammates that he used his head on that go-ahead Chicago goal.
Hard to believe when you look at happens. And finally the shoot-in comes, and it comes all the way around. And you might see 3 or 4 Hawks right inside. They're just going off, and the puck right off his head and over. Now it's about 4 feet ahead above. Riendo bounces on the line and in.
Yanni off the boards. Presley deflects it ahead, too far for Roanoke. The Blues chop it back in. Yanni tries to get out again. This time Roanoke pokes it down the ice. Brown wins the race, but picking it up is Thomas. Thomas trying to cut around Brindamore, and he is jammed into the net. No goal. The puck went into the net, but I think it went in underneath the side of the net as the 2 players lifted the net off its supports.
Blues want their defense to pinch. Harold Snipes went in and got caught, but Rod Brindamore, like they wanted, he came back and was the second defenseman along with Jeff Brown. He picked up Steve Thomas. Now Thomas is going at the net. Brindamore has got him blocked right off.
And you see the puck sneak under the net from the side as that net was lifted in the collision. Brindamore and Thomas going to the goal.
The defensive ability Ron Caron had talked about this morning of young Rod Brindamore, the fact that he is his best defensive forward as long as being his youngest player at 19 years of age, and he's 20 in August.
Those Chicago goals coming 103 apart. Lemieux unassisted at 3:56. Troy Murray from Manson and Gilbert at 4:59. Manson with another shot. It's deflected, knocked down in front. Chase flips it in, races in after it, but Belfer got there first. Back comes Thomas. Long shot, he scores!
Well, Belfer throws it up. It's a 3-on-2, and the play will come across from Presley. This is just about a 60-footer that beats Riendo, tips off the glove and in. Steve Thomas had 40 goals this season, his best mark. He can shoot with the best of them, but you don't expect to score from this distance. And the defenseman was right beside him, and it looked to me that Riendo's glove had the shot, and it bounced in.
And Ed Belfour draws an assist on the goal as he started to play. He came well out of his net to flip it ahead to Presley, who hit Thomas, and he gets the third goal for Chicago, his fifth of the playoffs.
And the big factor for Thomas, he was in full flight when he took the pass from Presley, and the faster you skate, the better you're going to get a shot off, and that's what happened.
That goal coming at 6:12. So 3 quick goals for the Blackhawks. And they have a 3-1 lead. So whatever Mike Keenan said to the team in that meeting between periods has certainly produced results. An offside call, and then Gilbert was spun around, and the officials have to quickly step between Featherstone and Gilbert. 13:36 is the time remaining in the second period. During the regular season, the Blues split the 4 games they played at Chicago Stadium, and they split the first 2 games they played at Chicago Stadium. So this building has not been intimidating for St. Louis.
They were not concerned the fact that they had to play in here tonight, but you saw what the crowd did after that second goal, especially the one that went over the head, and now the terrific shot by Thomas.
You think that perhaps Riendo may have been somewhat unnerved by that strange goal?
Well, he certainly wasn't. He had the position on Thomas's the third goal of this game, but he missed it. It hit his glove.
Roberts knocked down Lemieux in the neutral zone, well behind the play, and it looked for a moment as though the two of them might go at it, but nothing developed. Lemieux has it. He tries to play it around the boards, knocked down by Zezel. Zezel tried to get it back to Cavallini. It's picked off by Dwayne Sutter. There's his shot, up high, it bounces, and at the side of the net. Gilbert couldn't pick it up against Momesso. Dwayne Sutter hangs it off the boards, out in front, there's nobody there. St. Louis starts away. Brent Hall with a good move, gets it over to Momesso, but again, Belfour comes out of his net to poke it away. Brent Hall slides it in front to Oates, and Oates fired it wide. And the Blues, Dwayne Sutter hammers it off the boards and down the ice, and this will produce an icing call against Chicago. 12:23 left in the period.
Well, the Hawks have come alive here, and goaltender Greg Millen with their other coach or psychologist Cal Botterill on his right. Millen wanting to get in and do a job on his former team, St. Louis, but after winning that second game, had difficulty, and they gone to Belfour. But Riendo, who struggled in this early part of the second period, as the Hawks really have come alive. And that shot by Thomas, a lot of shots in the first period on the angle. That one, though, was just about dead center.
Curtis Joseph, the backup goaltender tonight for the Blues. As we said earlier, Brian Sutter this morning indicated that he was uncertain as to who his starting goaltender would be in this game, even though Riendo had played the first 4. He was giving some consideration to starting Curtis Joseph, but Riendo, except perhaps for that last goal, has played well.
Oh, you look at Joseph's record, 4-1 in the playoffs, and you know, he had a terrific series against Toronto.
Cavallini keeps it in. Oates fires it around the boards. Larmer takes a hit from Cavallini. It comes back to Snips. There's his shot. And Belfour blocks it and then pounces on the rebound.
Oh, something the Hawks were getting in the first period. The shots from the point. The Blues down 2 goals have to open up somewhat, and Harold Snepp puts a good shot in from the blue line. But the Hawks do a good job of making sure after Belfour makes the first save that there's nobody to pick up the rebound. Only Gino Cavallini was close, and the Hawks defensemen, well schooled in the fact, pick up loose men, don't leave loose pucks around.
Cavallini actually deflected that shot from the point by Snets, but Belfour very alertly pounced on that loose puck.
Keenan likes the competitiveness of Belfour. He's a great athlete. You alluded to before the broadcast the fact that Keenan said he's a marathon runner. You qualified it, I guess, a little more.
He competed in a triathlon 2 years ago in Morden, Manitoba. He says, however, that during the season he does not do any running, but in the summer months, that's how he stays in shape.
Well, he's stickler on conditioning, so if he's in top shape, he gets a lot of extra marks from Keenan.
Conroy unable to get it out. McLean took a swipe at it. It went wide. Creighton for Goulet. Creighton was dumped in front of the net as he tried to move up into the play. Conroy couldn't control that lead pass, and the Blues fire it down the ice. Belfour comes well out of his net most times to play that puck. That time he almost got himself in some trouble as he attempted to clear. Creighton at the side of the net. Starts away for Chicago. Ahead to Troy Murray. Murray simply flips it into the zone as the Blackhawks make a complete change.
Well, the type of game the Blues did not want to get involved in, that they have to go on the road and open up with over half the game left.
Oates slides it through. Tuttle with a shot. And the save by Belfour. 22-10, the shots on goal, favoring the Chicago Blackhawks. They lead by a score of 3-1. The Blackhawks dominated the first period. They didn't get a goal, and they have continued the domination in the second period, but they have been rewarded in this second period with 3 goals. Here's a backhander by Wilson. Loose puck at the side of the net. And Oates tried to clear and did get it out of the zone. Brett Hull unable to pick it up at the blue line against Yanni. Steve Thomas starts back for Chicago. He is checked by Lawler, and it's dumped down the ice.
But Hull does so well, though. He stays high, and especially down 2 goals. He nearly stole that puck from the Hawks defenseman.
10:18 remaining in the period. Lead pass for Brind'Amour. In across the line with Hull. Hull getting set, takes the shot, and it's deflected as Sutter was driving for the net. He got a stick on it, but Belford reacted. Here's Dwayne Sutter moving in. He scored! It's offside. The whistle had gone.
Jocelyn Lemieux was a step ahead of the play as Dwayne Sutter didn't give it to him, and he cut around the outside. The crowd thinks it's a goal, but Jocelyn Lemieux, linesman Ron Finn, was right on the line, and he was offside at the blue line.
Well, the whistles in this building, very tough to hear, and Dwayne Sutter certainly did not hear it as he came in across the blue line, and it is no goal. The score holds 3-1 Chicago. 3 goals for Chicago in a span of 2:16 in this second period. Establishes a playoff record. Mike Keenan thought his team had a 4th goal, but it was waved off as the result of an offside call, and the players on the ice had difficulty hearing the whistle. We didn't hear it at all upstairs with the noise of the crowd.
Referee Fraser, though, was right beside Ron Finn, who made the call. He gave the washout sign as soon as Sutter had shot the puck.
9:57 remaining in the period. Rowanek against Ron Wilson in the face-off circle.
Question I have, can the Blues defense, the makeup of their defense, can it go in and play the attacking role you need when you're down a couple of goals?
Tuttle dumps it in for Cavallini. He's racing in against Brown. Brown got there first, but Lowry steals it. Lowry out front. Cavallini fired it wide, and it's deflected by Tuttle. He's down. A penalty coming up. The Blues came close to making it a 1-goal difference, and they will now go to the power play.
This is a big game. Diet Pepsi's $4 million playoff pool, and you could win.
Win it, Coach! All right, win it!
You look under the caps of any Pepsi or 7-Up product.
Win it, caps, Coach!
If it says Boston in 6 and they actually win the playoff final in 6, you're a winner.
Win!
You can win $10,000, $10 or free Diet Pepsi.
Win Diet Pepsi $4 million playoff pool! All right!
And you wonder why I got out of coaching.
Why, Coach?
Steve Thomas has drawn a 5-minute penalty, and he also gets a game misconduct, and as a result, he is arguing with referee Kerry Fraser.
5 minutes for hooking and a game misconduct.
You saw Tuttle go down as he was hooked here, and obviously that stick got up into the face area and cut Steve Thomas, or cut Tuttle. Steve Thomas getting the stick in the face of Steve Tuttle.
The Blues lost Brent Hull in the second period, and you'll see it right here. As first Cavallini, the puck will come now. Tuttle, there is it touching right there as initially the hooking call by Fraser. So Thomas is gone. 5-minute penalty, and that play was made possible. The fact that 14 Paul Cavallini went up and took the chance. It resulted in a scoring chance, and now they draw the major penalty. So Cavallini and Brown are the two defensemen on the Blues that can move up in the attack.
Well, we talked about the length of time it took to play the first period. It's going to take a while to play this second period if the debris continues to be thrown from the stands onto the ice.
See Tuttle right there to take the shot. The hook by Thomas. In fact, in the 7th game against Minnesota, Savard and Brown both drew major penalties late in the first period, and the Hawks went on to win that game after they had to kill the 2 5-minute majors at the end of that first period, towards the end of the first.
There are some who have been suggesting that that rule be modified, but that puts a lot of onus on the official as to whether or not it was intentional or accidental.
Well, they voted it in, and they're living with it now. The fact, I am surprised that we continually to see, I guess it's the kind of game you play with a stick and your emotions and everything else, that you're going to see those kind of fouls. I thought they'd be really cutting them out by now.
Well, the maintenance staff has been called out to take some of the debris off the ice. We've got a delay. We'll be back right after this.
Game 5 of the Adams Division Final goes tomorrow at the Garden in Boston. Canadiens and Bruins. Canadiens will try to stave off elimination for the second consecutive game. 7:30 Eastern Time. Then Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern. It's game number 6 of the Norris Final, the Blackhawks and Blues.
Scotty, they always talk about the smaller ice surface at the Boston Garden. Is this ice surface at Chicago Stadium a little smaller?
It's smaller than a 200 by 85, but I always felt in Chicago you have got some room down the side boards. You got a little deeper corner, and I feel that that makes your power play even work better. When you're in a rink that's very small, it's tough to do. But St. Louis power play, with that power play goal tonight, they've jumped 13 power play goals in only their 10th game, only follow the Rangers who have 15. So it's important 5 minutes. The Blues have a good power play.
They scored their only goal on the power play in the first period. Adam Oates got the goal. Everybody up with the exception of Brown back at the point. Zezel against Troy Murray. It goes to the corner. Zezel gets it back to Brown. He dumps it in for Ron Wilson. Wilson to Zezel. Zezel tried to slide it in front, blocked by Yanni, and Troy Murray dumps it down the ice. Riendo in the corner to make the play. He knocked it away from Jocelyn Lemieux. However, it's stolen by Troy Murray. He picks it up in the corner. Murray trying to get away from Adam Oates. He can't. And Oates, who has scored the St. Louis goal, starts away. He'll fire it in. Zezel trying to pick it up. He takes a two-hander from Murray. Murray really took a swipe at him as he tried to go for that puck. 4:16 remaining on this 5-minute power play. Hull gets it across to Ron Wilson. Wilson moving in. He tried to slip it back to Hull, who wasn't in position.
And the bread and butter play for the Blues power play has been Adam Oates on the right point over across ice to Brett Hull. If they get in the zone and set up, that's been their play.
Oates will fire it in. Balfour was unable to stop it. Ron Wilson takes a hit from Yanni. Yanni can't clear it, however. Ron Wilson in control, fakes the shot, now gives it back to Brown. Brown shot off the leg, knocked down by Oates. He gets it across to Ron Wilson. He tried to slide it through for McLean. He was tied up at the side of the net. Bob Murray races into the corner after it. He's checked by McLean. Yanni following up on the play, clears it.
With Paul McLean in front, they haven't been able to hit Brett Hull, and they've already killed nearly 2 minutes of this penalty.
3:17 left. in the 5-minute major to Steve Thomas. Belfer up on the boards to Keith Brown. He bangs it down the ice.
Well, the Blues during the regular season went with the same 5 men for the full 2 minutes. They've gone now. Now they're all just about killed at 2 minutes. They have their second power play unit that hadn't played a lot in the regular season.
Fired in by the Blues. And it's whistled down. It was hit with a high stick as it was fired in.
Might be the time you'd think about taking a timeout. You've got a Hull, you got an Oates, you got a Jeff Brown, terrific power play players. You got 2:49 to go. They've gone for the first 2 minutes. But now a little bit of time in this game would help those power play players for St. Louis.
3-1, Chicago leading all 3 goals in that 2:16 span in this second period. The Blues scoring on a power play in the first period. 2:49 remaining in the penalty. 7:28 the time left in the period.
The power play is really focused around Brown and Oates. They've been terrific point men, especially Oates. He gives those soft passes, and fellas like McLean and Hull can hit them without stopping. And one time that play, and that's been a big power play for this club. And in fact, of their power play goals, they've had a terrific run at home. Tonight's goal was their 5th on the road out of their 13.
And Mike Keenan did not have a player in the penalty box, and now he sends Dwayne Sutter over to sit out the remaining 2:49 of the 5-minute major to Steve Thomas. And of course, had the penalty expired and the Blackhawks not had a player in the penalty box, they would have had to continue playing a man short.
The way the game goes today, I think it'd have to have him in right at the beginning.
Paul Cavallini. He tried a rink-wide pass. It went off a skate, picked up by Featherstone. And it's offside, St. Louis. 2:25 left in the penalty.
Well, they get 2:25. Like you mentioned, they get a shot at bringing their #1 unit out, which up front they had McLean. And usually it's Zezel or Brindamore in the middle, and Hull plays that left side. But the factor is that they haven't been able to set up in the attacking zone, and that cuts down on the effectiveness of a Brett Hull, because he loves to play on that dot and towards the face-off, inside of the face-off circle, somewhere in there that he can one-time it.
Larmer and Savard come out now to kill off the penalty for Chicago with Doug Wilson and Yanni. Zezel and Hull back on the ice for St. Louis, along with Rod Brindamore up front. Brindamore checked by Wilson. Cavallini makes a move to get away from a check, tried to slide it through to Hull. He was checked. Zezel, however, has the puck, gets it back to the point to Cavallini. Cavallini being chased by Savard, goes to the other side. Oates spins around to get away from a check, into Brindamore, back to Oates. Oates over to Cavallini. He gives it to Hull. Hull couldn't get a shot away. Back to the point to Cavallini. Long shot, knocked down. It goes to the corner, is picked up there by Hull. Hull trying to give it off to Brindamore. Brindamore in front. They deflect it, and Belfer grabs it.
The best scoring chance of the major penalty, as Rod Brindamore made a good play to get it in front. Adam Oates had moved in. Hull was open a little bit behind Oates. It might have hit Oates, as you'll see here. Finally, Brindamore, he goes right at the net and throws it in front, and it hits somebody's skate. It was Adam Oates who had moved all the way up.
And Belfer reacted to it, and he covers up and holds it for a face-off with 1:41 remaining in the 5-minute major to Steve Thomas.
Blues wanted to get people in front of Ed Belfour. They felt, although he made the big saves in the third period after the Hawks were outshot so badly, they did not have people in front. He saw every puck. There was 3 Blues. He saw Oates in there, Hull waiting for the puck as Brindamore nearly jammed the net.
Paul McLean is going to go over to the St. Louis bench and change sticks. He conferred with referee Kerry Fraser first, indicating that he had a faulty piece of equipment.
This is just, though, what the Blues really want, Don. The fact you get 30, 40 seconds rest, because those 5 that are on the ice now, that's what they'd like to finish this penalty with. They'd like to score a goal in the meanwhile, and naturally Thomas' replacement won't come out. Dwayne Sutter serving the penalty for Thomas.
1:41 left in the penalty. Brindamore against Troy Murray. Murray gets the draw to Keith Brown. He bangs it off the glass, kept in by Jeff Brown. To Brindamore. To Hall, a shot, a quick release, and a glove save by Belfer.
Well, that tells me all about Brett Hull. When he scores 82 goals, he let it go. I'm positive it might have been right inside the post, as Jeff Brown made a terrific play here. This is what you want your offensive defenseman to do. He kept it in. He was able to hold it by not putting his stick above his. And you'll see the play here. A soft pass. It's a rolling puck. Hull just hits it perfectly. Belfer's got the right position. McLean waiting for that rebound.
Belfer with that quick glove hand. He was telling me this morning he's always aware of where Brett Hull is. 8 face-offs in a row. The Blackhawks have won in their own zone. Back to Jeff Brown. The shot. That's up high into the crowd.
Putting a lot of pressure on in this penalty, and Brown let it go. Paul McLean, one of the better players in the NHL for going in front of the net and deflecting pucks in. He got a hold of this one, but deflected it up, and the face-off will come outside.
Brown will celebrate his 24th birthday at the end of the month. He played his junior hockey in Sudbury before being drafted by Quebec as a #2 pick in 1984. And he has blossomed since he has moved to the St. Louis Blues.
The right-hand shot on the off the fence on the left side. He can then move into the middle. He's got a terrific shot. Oates, the feeder on the other side, makes it work. They got the perfect matchup because Oates can throw the pucks across. Hawks have done a good job, though, of preventing that pass from Oates to Hull.
6:04 left in the period. 1:25 in the penalty to Steve Thomas. Again, Troy Murray wins the draw. He's excelled in that face-off circle on this 5-minute major to Steve Thomas.
Well, they've had the pressure on. They haven't had a lot of shots. The Blues are a team that don't take foolish shots. They like to make the right play and Hull the trigger man.
Adam Oates. Good control of the puck to Brindamore. To Hull. Back to the line to Brown. He gets it back to Hull. Hull to Brindamore. In front. They just failed to deflect. Paul McLean couldn't get it, but Hull scores. It comes back to Hull, and he scores.
27 power play goals to lead the NHL. He took this pass, I think, off his skate. From his skate to his stick and put it up high. Terrific puck movement though by Brindamore. That was the chance across for McLean. The Hawks are upset that there's the rocket by Hull as the Hawk defenseman can't get out in front. McLean has the right position in front. He's not bothering. He's not inside the crease. He's got perfect position. And see that little nudge by Larmer, but Hull just gets this one and rockets right over the glove side, and Belfort had no chance.
So Brett Hull with his 83rd goal of the season, his 11th of the playoffs, and it's a 1-goal game with 48 seconds remaining in the 5-minute major to Steve Thomas.
See, he was able to take it off his skate. He didn't have to wait a second, not slapping the puck. He just took it and wristed it as hard as you're going to slap it anyways.
I asked him this morning if he gets any reaction from the fans in Chicago Stadium in view of the fact that his father was such a star in this building for 15 years, and he said they only say, why don't you play for us instead of St. Louis?
Well, when Calgary was actually trading him around, Chicago was one of the clubs that they called and couldn't strike the deal. They made it with St. Louis instead.
Nemesso was checked, gets it back again. Ron Wilson checked by Doug Wilson. Now it's poked ahead. Here's the Lemieux, and he couldn't get that puck as Jeff Brown got back just in time.
Give him that first tug. You'll get away with it. Now another penalty coming up to Chicago.
As Manson goes back to touch it, the whistle goes. The 5-minute major is over, but there's another penalty being assessed against the Chicago Blackhawks. Lemieux draws a slashing penalty That occurred after he raced for that loose puck and was hooked, knocking him off balance by Jeff Brown, and it may be for this was he runs into Riendo.
That's what it's for, but he felt that he might have got Jeff Brown. He'd got a step on Brown, and they would come in there and just lay it on the goaltender, but Brown gave him one hook, which allowed Lemieux, actually forced him to lose a stride and lost the puck. Results in a penalty, but a foolish one for Chicago after nearly getting through the 5-minute penalty, but the goal by Hull puts St. Louis within one.
A Hull goal at 14:33 from Oates and Brind'Amour. The 11th of the playoffs for Brett Hull, and the St. Louis Blues are on the power play again.
Gives you 7 minutes of the 5 best offensive players of the Blues against you.
Yes, that penalty to Lemieux occurred just as the 5-minute major had expired. Knocked down by Yanni. He slides it ahead to Larmer. A long shot and a glove save by Riendo. Hull goes cross ice for Paul McLean. McLean laid it back in the wing for Hull. Hull dodges a hit from Bob Murray. But as it was flipped in, it goes over the glass and out of play. 1:29 remaining in the penalty to Lemieux. 4:04 in the period.
One area the Blues are very strong in their power play, on their breakouts. They're very strong because of the fact that Hull's a right-hand shot. He moves up that left side. He gets a lot of room, and they got the puck handlers. They got an excellent power play. The fact that Adam Oates has developed him. He's got the feathery hands, 79 assists this year, and he's been a big factor. And it's strange that Hull is a right-hand shot and Oates is a right-hand shot. Although Zezel played some center, Oates drew most of the time with Brett Hull.
And Mike Keenan, fully aware that he cannot give this St. Louis power play too many opportunities, the second most effective power play in postseason action. Zezel is out there with Brind'Amour and Hull. Oates and Cavallini back on the points. From the draw, Gilbert flips it down the ice. Cavallini being chased by Savard. Oates picks up the puck, moves it ahead to Zezel. For Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour looks cross ice. Into the corner instead to Oates. Oates is checked. Brind'Amour picks up the puck behind the goal. Zezel looking for Hull. Hull into the middle to Brind'Amour. He couldn't get a shot away. Hull back to the point to Cavallini, but getting there first was Gilbert. Ahead to Savard. Savard trying to put on a fancy move. Sliding it in front. And Gilbert couldn't pick it up as St. Louis comes back. Paul McLean checked by Wilson. Hull gets it. Hull plays it behind the goal. Doug Wilson has it for Chicago. He can't clear. Keith Brown finally gets it out and down the ice with 26 seconds left in the penalty to Lemieux.
And Savard is dead tired, can't get off the ice.
Hull checked by Presley. And Presley gets it out of the zone. 14 seconds left in the penalty. Presley finally flips it down, and a tired Savard goes to the bench.
Did a better job, though, in this last minute of this penalty in the neutral zone.
A steal by Roenick. But he couldn't get a shot away. Featherstone moves it ahead to Ron Wilson. 2:24 left in the period. He's stopped at the line. Racing after it is Presley. And Presley was checked by Featherstone. Roenick picks up the loose puck. He fires it wide.
Big play after the 7 minutes. Short-handed for the Hawks. You come with a little bit of an attack. They can't be sitting on a lead with 2 minutes to go as the Blues had a good power play opportunity.
Back of his own net. Roberts for St. Louis. Being watched by Troy Murray. Gives it to Lawler. He dumps it out of the zone. Manson is back for Chicago. 1:45 left in the period. Rink-wide pass for Wilson. He's checked by Tuttle. Trying to center for Zezel, and it's intercepted by Manson. In across the line, Creighton was ahead of the play, offside. 1:34 is the time remaining in the second period. The Blues trail by 1. Well, even even without overtime, which of course is a possibility. It's a long night at Chicago Stadium. The opening face-off took place 2 hours and 6 minutes ago, and we still have 1:34 remaining in the second period.
For the Hawks, when you look at St. Louis, they dodged the first period, and now after the Hawks scored those 3 goals in less than 2.5 minutes, they're still within 1.
Brindamore flips it in, takes a hit from Yanni as Wilson goes back after the puck. Around the boards for Gilbert. He can't get out. Brindamore flips it back into the corner. Wilson tries again to move it out of the zone. It's knocked down. He gets it again, this time to Larmer. And Larmer, although he's forced back, should get it out, although he gives it to Yanni. And finally he clears the zone. Good forechecking there by the Blues, forcing the Hawks in their own end.
They've taken the tempo and the momentum away from the Hawks. The Hawks are kind of mixed up right now after killing those penalties, and the Blues have got that resurgence going for them.
Just 47 seconds left in the period. 3-2, Chicago leading. Steve Conroy flips it off the boards and down the ice. Lawler goes back after him. Troy Murray keeps it in. Goulet is checked in the corner, gets it back. Goulet trying to make a play with Lawler all over him. Comes back to Keith Brown, fired wide. From the other point, Conroy with a shot. That's deflected. In the corner, Dwayne Sutter trying to get it out front. He's knocked down, does shovel it out front, but it's intercepted by the Blues, and they come back, led by Oates. He has Hall with him. Oates tried to get it across to Hall, and it went off the leg to the corner. The Hawks hammer it around the boards and down the ice, and that will end the second period.
Well, this sets the stage for a terrific third period as the power play goal by Brett Hull gets the Blues back in the game, and it's been a series where the first goal has meant everything as well. Both teams have been
Bruins at the Boston Garden. Saturday we'll be in St. Louis as the Blues and Blackhawks square off again in Game 6 of the Norris Final. The 1990 Stanley Cup playoffs continue in a moment.
If Brett Hull continues to perform for St. Louis as he has this year, his number 16 jersey may be hanging from the rafters of the St. Louis Arena as his father's number hangs from the rafters of Chicago Stadium. 1957 to 1972, Bobby Hull played with the Blackhawks, and in the opinion of Blackhawk fans, there is only one Hull. Hull, of course, also had his sweater retired by the Winnipeg Jets, the team he went to with the formation of the World Hockey Association in 1972. By the way, I said to Brett this morning, Scotty, in that contract negotiation, would he be happy to get the same amount of money that his father got from Winnipeg, $1 million? He said, maybe a little bit more.
Well, he keeps putting the puck in like he's in the position that the Blues will be forced to pretty well give him what he wants, and they understand there's a matching offer that they can, you know, get him back on if somebody else tries to sign him. So
Lawler having all sorts of problems with debris that had been tossed onto the ice in back of the St. Louis goal, and he almost lost the puck as the result of tripping over some of that debris. There you see it. The officials didn't notice it when they dropped the puck to start the game.
is he playing the puck or the debris? That's right. Harold Snepps had mentioned something when they got on the ice to Coach Brian Sutter about something to do with the ice.
Well, fans have on several occasions tonight thrown debris on the ice to protest a call or a non-call, but there was no reason for any of that litter being in behind the goal. Adam Creighton for Troy Murray. Murray looking out front for Goulet. It's knocked down. And a whistle on the play. Contacted with a high stick.
Chicago struck it. I think it was Murray, and Creighton picked it up, and the faceoff will come outside. And from Chicago's standpoint, those 2 power play goals for the Blues, that puts your aggressive play really on the mark. The fact that you can't take any penalties against this St. Louis power play that are foolish ones with a 1-goal game going. But the Hawks have been a tremendous team. When you look at their regular season, 33-1-2, that's the high stick by Creighton. 5-0 in the playoffs. 1 loss when you add it up, Don, over 40 games that they took the lead after the second period.
Michel Goulet was the man who hit that puck with his high stick, acquired from Quebec on March the 5th. He came over along with Greg Millen. The three players that went to Quebec: Everett Santa-Pass, Dan Vincelat, and Mario Doyon. Meso runs into Doug Wilson. The two of them went down. Brett Hull, a backhand shot. It's blocked in front of the goal. And back comes Chicago. Lemieux crossing as he comes into the zone. Long shot up high. Dwayne Sutter bangs it back to Lemieux behind the goal. He's checked by Cavallini. Comes up with the puck. Gets it out to Sutter. His shot high and wide. Racing in from the point, Manson. He lets the shot go off the leg. He gets it again. There's his shot. It's blocked. Here's a breakaway for Hull. Brett Hull going in, and it's deflected up into the crowd. He was being harassed.
Denny Savard, I'm sure, is the Hawk that was able to catch up to Hull. I thought he was gone right from center ice. It was the end of a long shift for Hull. You'll see Savard just tugs at his left glove enough to take him off the play, as it looked like Hull was in alone. He had to jump on everybody, but that little tug there by, so we had two actually, on the left side and the right side. It was Manson and Savard that impeded Hull taking away the scoring chance. He's got that, I think what happened on that, just that glove. Savard's stick did the most damage on the left glove.
Here's the collision between Meso and Wilson a few moments ago as both went down. 18:28 remaining in the period. The Blues coming close to getting the tying goal.
That puck came out on that play right to Hull, and he elected to go to his backhand. Even showed us a good backhand.
To the point to Brown. He fires it into the corner. Manson has it for Chicago. Stolen by Ron Wilson. Bob Murray will try and get it out. Cavallini is on him quickly, but Murray moves it to Savard. He sends Gilbert down the left side. There's his shot up high into the crowd.
Hard to catch the Blues, though, in an outnumbered situation. It was a perfect play up the middle. They take the chance with Savard out there at center, but the Blues have had that third forward back, which prevents, you make the play on the side, it prevents the play coming back in the slot area. The play's covered.
Vincent Riendeau, initially signed as a free agent by Montreal in 1985, traded to St. Louis August 9th, 1988.
He's stunned by the Thomas shot from inside the blue line, and just prior to that, that strange play when the puck hit Troy Murray and went right over Riendeau. So there's been two questionable goals on the fact that the Hawks are ahead by one.
Savard against Ron Wilson. Savard gets it back to Doug Wilson. He fakes the shot, tried to slip it to Gilbert. It was behind him. Comes back to the point to Doug Wilson for Savard. To Gilbert. Gilbert is checked. Ron Wilson unable to move it out. Sutter tried to clear the zone. It went off Lowry, and Snaps has to chase it back behind his own goal. He gets it to Rich Sutter. Rink wide pass for Ron Wilson. Wilson gets it back to Sutter. There's the shot to save the rebound, and it's knocked wide by Lowry. Bob Murray was knocked down behind the goal, and there's a penalty coming up to the St. Louis Blues with 17:32 remaining in the period, and our Stanley Cup coverage will continue after this. A hooking call against Dave Lowry as he knocked Murray down behind the goal.
Rich Sutter took a shot just prior to this. Lowry had the rebound. This is what he was called for as he pulls down Bob Murray, but a good scoring chance. First Sutter, Lowry missed the rebound, then drew a penalty in the offensive zone.
Brian Sutter has to be happy with his team's penalty killing, and conversely, Mike Keenan has to be concerned with the way his team's power play is functioning.
They've struggled on their breakout patterns. He said they're fine when they get it in, but they have not really executed coming out of their own end.
Bob Murray has his shot knocked down by Cavallini and fired back down the ice.
Poor play in the neutral zone. Instead of the puck in their end, it's behind your net again. Another 200 feet.
Wayne Presley has Goulet with him. Fires it in, but it's blocked and fired down the ice by Rich Sutter.
Miscommunication. The Hawk was going to shoot it in, and Goulet stopped at the blue line, figuring they're going to make a play at the line.
Manson drives it in. It takes a strange bounce off those boards, and Riendo had to react quickly. Harold Snepps will get it down the ice. Back after it goes Larmer. Wilson and Rich Sutter were bumping and jawing away at each other as that puck went into the Chicago zone. Troy Murray fires it in. Rich Sutter along the boards, checked by Larmer. He gets it. Back to Yanni. There's his shot. It's blocked. Knocked down the ice by Adam Oates. Belfer well out of his net to play it ahead to Yanni. The Blues changing their penalty killing unit as it's dumped into the corner. Presley hammers it off the glass to the other side. Troy Murray battling for it there with Lawler. 32 seconds remaining in the penalty, and finally the whistle goes for a face-off in the St. Louis zone. 16:02 the time left in the third period.
Blues are very aggressive in their penalty killing. We saw it there. They had the Hawks outnumbered even though they were shorthanded. There was 3 Blues on the one side of the rink, and finally a Hawk came over and they stopped play. But that's one thing, they have not allowed the Hawks to get in. Their shootings have not been executed well, but the Blues have given them their penalty killing credit. They've been able to really more aggressive play in their own end than the Hawks on killing penalties.
30 seconds exactly remaining in the penalty.
Strange bounce from behind the net, and he plays it with his skate. As he gets the stick, he thinks it's coming on the side, off the right to the left, and then finally behind the net.
Wilson fakes the shot. Joronek back to Wilson. Shot right on. And the puck knocked just past the open corner. Here's the long shot. Puck loose at the side of the net. Savard had moved back to the point. It was knocked down. And at the side of the goal, Goulet couldn't get to it. Belfer, again, way out of his net. Playing the puck up into the center ice area. Roenick has it. 5 seconds left in the penalty. Roenick is checked by Tuttle. There's another penalty coming up. So one penalty has expired, but another one comes up.
Steve Tuttle draws the penalty. In fact, it was questionable whether Fraser might call it a major, but Roenick was shaking his head saying he's fine as he made the rush going in, but he button-hooked again, Roenick, on that play. One thing that the Hawks have been asking their forwards, especially their speedsters, to keep going down the side, but he did draw a penalty on that one. Back-to-back penalties for the Blues.
Just as the penalty to Lowry ended, Tuttle draws a penalty as he hauls down Jeremy Roenick. So 4 minutes of killing off a Chicago power play. But the Hawks have really had problems with the man advantage. Doug Wilson to Savard. He fires it in. Roenick picks it up. Roenick looking for someone to give it to. Kicks it along the boards for Troy Murray. Larmer played it around the board. Savard, who's back on the point, had raced in. He was knocked down. At the point, it is kept in by Roenick. Goes back at the net for Larmer to Savard. Cross ice to Wilson. Back to Savard. Savard gives it over to Larmer. Fakes the shot to Savard. He lets it go. A high shot hit a player in front of the net. Brindamore fires it down the ice.
Amazing the way the Blues have killed penalties. Rich Sutter, Snepps, Wilson, all coming over in late trades. An area that Caron shored up. It shows here now their penalty killing's been excellent.
Adam Oates out there now, killing off the penalty with Sutter. Got it to Sutter. He shot it in. 46 seconds remaining in the penalty to Tuttle. Presley drives it in off the glass. Rich Sutter gets back there to pick it up for the Blues. Trying to get away from Presley. He works it ahead to Oates. Oates puts on his brakes, gives it back to Featherstone. Featherstone couldn't get a shot away. Now turns around and fires, knocked down by Belfer. 26 seconds remaining in the penalty. Stolen by the Blues. Back to the point. Lawler took a shot. It goes to the corner. 16 seconds left in the penalty. Goulet. Rink wide pass for Bob Murray. He lets it go, and it goes off his skate to the corner. Presley dumps it back to the goal. Just 5 seconds left in the penalty. Another fine job of penalty killing by the Blues. On their 4 power plays, the Hawks in total have had just 3 shots. Lemieux fires it wide. Sutter racing in. Checked by Lawler. Ahead to tunnel. There's an injured St. Louis player. Brind'Amour is hurt as Chicago comes back. Lemieux, long shot, wide. Brown from the point, lets a shot go. That ricocheted off a skate up on the glass. Behind the goal, Lemieux looking out front. Gilbert was knocked down, gets it behind the goal. He couldn't get it out front. Lemieux steals it in the corner. Lemieux to Sutter, it bounced away from him and is brought out by Brett Hull. Hull working against Conroy. Hull trying to get the shot away. Slides it back. Picked up by Brind'Amour. A centering attempt knocked down by the Hawks. And Conroy bangs it off the boards back into St. Louis territory.
Hawks do not have good control of this 1-goal lead. The fact those 4 minutes on the power play has really got them mixed up, and the Blues are coming on with a surge.
Here's Hull with a shot. Save the rebound. Another save by Belfort. The frustration on the face of Brett Hull as he had 2 chances to tie it. Brian Sutter talking to referee Kerry Fraser. He felt there should have been a penalty called.
It was on Rod Brind'Amour, got up very slowly behind the play, but look how close Keenan from the Hawks bench. They go right side by side as Brett Hull, back-to-back shots, picked up his own rebound on that off wing. Had 3 shots in the first 2 periods, so he's well on his way. I'm sure he's got at least 5 shots. This is the elbow. Larmer, is it, or is it Lemieux on Brind'Amour as he takes it in the face? Might have been Jocelyn Lemieux.
Brind'Amour suffered a cut in game 4 as the result of a high stick, and there was no penalty call.
There's Brett Hull, gets it away and is able to move in on the rebound, and fortunately for the Hawks, Dave Manson just cleared it as Hull was getting ready to tie it up on his own rebound.
Brind'Amour must really feel he's been victimized. Cut in game 4 with no penalty, and injured again in game 5 with no penalty. Cavallini flips it over to the boards. Roberts can't get out against Roenick. Poke to the line, and finally Zezo gains control. To Memesso. He drives it in. Belfort leaves it behind his own net for Conroy. He couldn't hit Murray with the pass. Roberts dumps it back in. Conroy will try again. His pass is again blocked. Back after it goes Keith Brown. Memesso in there forechecking for St. Louis. Brown got it ahead to Larmer. Larmer flips it in for Savard. In front for Larmer. Saved by Riendo. And Cavallini was there to defend his goaltender. Beautiful play. Savard to Larmer. But he couldn't get it past the St. Louis goaltender.
Savard and Larmer, the 2 Hawks, they've been trying to shake that slump of theirs, but on this one here, Riendo stays with it very well, and Larmer's able to squeeze through. Cavallini is able to check him, but not the stick. There's the deflection, and Riendo very strong on his feet and also can use his pads very well to make saves. But this one here, Cavallini let Larmer get the chance. As Savard puts it across, just let him go at the last moment.
Well, if there are any ill feelings between Keenan and Savard, as reported today in the Chicago newspapers, they have not been evident in this game because Savard has logged a lot of ice time and has played well.
But it's very strong first half. I felt in the middle of the second period, though, he has not been in. He hasn't been as speedy, and he hasn't had as much of the puck, although he made a good play there. He's playing with more determination, something the Hawks want him to do.
Wilson gets the draw to Lawler. He plays it around on the boards. Doug Wilson keeps it in. Larmer for Savard. He's checked by Ron Wilson. Featherstone brings it out. Lead pass for Lowry. He's spun around, and back with it is Trent Yanni for Chicago. Yanni gaining speed as he fires it down the ice. Didn't chase in after it. It comes back to the line for Doug Wilson with a shot just wide. Back to the point now for Murray. He gets it back of the goal for Larmer. Larmer looking for Savard. Now goes to the point. Murray's shot right on. Riendo came out of the net, tried to grab it. He couldn't. There's a penalty coming up against the St. Louis Blues as Larmer was hauled down in front of the net. So with 10:36 remaining in the third period, Chicago will have another power play.
Glenn Featherstone draws the penalty as first Lawler took his man out, but Featherstone was all over Steve Larmer right in front as the Hawks buzzed around. Savard had a good play back to Wilson, and the ensuing play results in another power play, the third of this period for the Hawks.
Well, one of the spectators wearing a Chicago Blackhawk jersey, somewhat innovative. He has an anti-Featherstone shield sitting right beside the penalty box.
That was a shot from Wilson, and you'll see here, finally, there's good coverage in front by Lawler, and right in front, Featherstone takes down Larmer. Right at the top of the screen, you'll see it there as he just pulls him right down after he let Lawler. And that's one thing with the St. Louis defense. They're very aggressive. Lawler, Featherstone, Roberts, Cavallini. They don't allow players to stand in front. They often draw penalties as a result of their aggressiveness, and that was one on Featherstone.
10:36, the time remaining. It's a one-goal game, and these two teams have been extremely tight in all four previous games. St. Louis won 4-3 in the series opener. Chicago won game 2 5-3, scoring into an empty net. St. Louis won game 3 5-4. Chicago game 4 3-2. And that's the score right now, 3-2 Chicago. Wilson loses it to Oates. He sends Tuttle away. Tuttle tried to slip it through for Oates. It was too far for him as Presley had him tied up. Now Tuttle in forechecking on Sutter. The Hawks finally move it ahead to Goulet. He dumps it down the ice. Ron Wilson got there first. He's checked and knocked down. Presley couldn't move out against Tuttle. And Tuttle is having problems trying to clear the zone against Savard. Harold Snepts finally knocks it out into the center ice area.
Tuttle's been a good penalty killer for the Blues as well. Very aggressive along the boards.
Presley shoots it in.
The puck actually, there's an opening at the bottom of the boards. There's a little crack all the way along. The puck stuck right in there on the shoot-in. Now they're all over Fraser. Where is this face-off going to be?
Harold Snepts, the veteran defenseman, who was acquired in a trade with the Vancouver Canucks just before the deadline. He played his first game on March the 13th. Came from Vancouver on March the 6th, along with Rich Sutter.
He wants to make it his last year. He wants to retire, but general manager Ron Caron wants to convince him to at least play one more season. And having an excellent playoff, the team doing very well. Now into game 5. I don't know if Steps can come back and not play next year.
Right there is where the gate goes down to the visiting team dressing room, and it does not sit flush to the ice. And as it was fired in by the Hawks, it's stuck underneath the board.
Hawks power play, though, really not functional. Their shoot-ins, they've been beaten to the shoot-ins most of the time. They've gone away from carrying it in. That often happens. When you lose confidence, you start giving up those easy plays, shooting it in.
1:05 remaining in the penalty. 6 minutes on the power play in this third period, and the Blackhawks have been very ineffective with the man advantage.
Just haven't made that breakout play. They're making it to people that are not moving. They're standing still, and the Blues penalty killers have adjusted very well.
And as Jeremy Roenick said in the first intermission interview with Chris, the fans can sometimes get on you in the Chicago Stadium when you aren't playing well, and they have been booing this Chicago power play. Lowry along the boards trying to get it out. Dug out now by Larmer. Larmer gets it back to the line. Bob Murray. Cross ice to Yanni. Yanni to Roenick. He fired it wide. Murray controls it again. Over to Yanni. Back to Murray. He lets the shot go. Knocked down by Harold Sneps. And it's dumped down the ice by Adam Oates with only 4 seconds left in the penalty.
Killer instinct. You're up a goal. You need a second one as they get ahead by 2. But the Hawks power play has really caused them problems.
Gilbert trying to move it out front. He is checked. Lemieux bodied by Lawler. Trying to kick it free. Brind'Amour in there as well. It goes to the other side. Featherstone takes Sutter in against the boards. Just as he came out of the penalty box, he stepped into Bob Murray and sent him flying. Lemieux with a shot as he picked up that loose puck at the top of the circle. Blocked by Riendo. Hawks with more pressure, playing at full strength than they had on the power play.
Jocelyn Lemieux has had a strong game for the Hawks.
Jeff Brown moves it across to Brind'Amour. He takes a hit as Adam Creighton moved up on him, and the puck dumped out. Fired back in by Conroy. A long shot right on Riendo. Roberts has it. He lost it there to Goulet. Creighton plays it back to the point. Yanni trying to keep it in. He can't. This is Cavallini leaving it for McLean. McLean takes a shot. It goes off a skate. Another shot. Fired just wide. McLean gets it again. In front, and it bounced away to Presley, and he gets it out of the zone. Flipped back in by the Blues. And it's an offside call with 7:08 remaining, and there's going to be a penalty call against the Blackhawks. Creighton will be going off. Only twice have teams come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a series. The New York Islanders became the second team to do that in 1975 on this date. Toronto Maple Leafs in 1942, the only other team to do it. The Montreal Canadiens will be trying to do it in their series with the Boston Bruins, and you'll see Game 5 of that series tomorrow night on Hockey Night in Canada.
Adam Creighton drawing a foolish penalty after the Peter Zezel had a terrific chance. The puck came back in the slot area. He just missed the far corner, and Creighton, after I think everything was kind of stopped, looked like he came in after the whistle had gone and drew the penalty. Blues power play. Their penalty killing's been excellent. Specialty teams have been a big edge for St. Louis, even though they trail.
There had been an offside call when Creighton drew that penalty. So the Blues with a great opportunity, 6:55 remaining in the third, to send this one into overtime perhaps. Oates fires it in. They can't pick it up, and the Blackhawks will fire it out of the zone.
The Blues power play during the season, this is the fivesome that plays the full time, and Hull so dangerous on that side. Hasn't been as good on the power play though, Don, except for that major penalty when he scored that goal.
Wilson bodied by Murray. Larmer loses it to Wilson. Wilson gets it to Brind'Amour. Back to the point to Oates. Over to Cavallini to Hull. There's a shot right on. And Delfer makes the save. Ron Wilson gets it loose to Hull. In front to Zezel. Bounced away from Oates, who had raced in from the point. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty.
Yeah, well, the Blues passed the puck. Zezel made a terrific play. Had no shot. Quick passes.
Cavallini dumps it in. Troy Murray gets there first. Can he get it out? No. Kept in by Oates. Oates fakes the shot. Gives it to Hull. Hull back of the net. Still controlling. Tried to slide it in front. He was checked. And it is brought out and dumped down the ice by Lemieux.
Oh boy, Hull came around behind that net. He put the blind pass in front.
17 seconds remaining in the penalty. Here comes Oates leading the attack for St. Louis. Oates is checked by Roenick. Gets it loose to McLean. He plays it around the boards. Jeff Brown racing in. Just 3 seconds left in the penalty. The puck bounced away from McLean. Adam Creighton back in the ice. McLean can't get a shot. It's ducked down the ice by Roenick. And this will be an icing call against Chicago, but they have killed off the penalty to Adam Creighton. And they continue to lead by 1 with 4:55 left in the third.
Can the Canadiens stave off elimination again tomorrow? It's Game 5 of the Adams Final from the Garden in Boston. And it starts at 7:30 Eastern Time. That's tomorrow, Canadiens and Bruins. Saturday, we'll be in St. Louis. Blackhawks and Blues in Game 6 of the Norris Division Final.
And wherever you're looking in tonight on Hockey Night in Canada, we hope you're enjoying this game from Chicago Stadium. A very entertaining game between the Blues and the Blackhawks in this 5th game of the Norris Final.
Certainly from the way the Blues came on in that power play, it looked like the Hawks were struggling. They killed the penalty. They got a big lift out of their crowd. There's still a little under 5 minutes remaining, nursing the 1-goal lead. They haven't had that killer instinct, Chicago, to get that second goal and put them 2 up.
The Edmonton Oilers awaiting the winner of this series, undoubtedly hoping that it goes the full 7 games.
Well, you need a rest during the playoffs, and the Oilers, after that sweep against the Kings, something you're looking for. Although they went with more players than most teams do, they got a tremendous effort from their big line, and they certainly will be a tough team to beat in the conference final.
John Muckler giving his team a couple of days off after winning that Smythe Division Final on Tuesday night. They won't resume practicing until tomorrow, I believe. Back to the point. Conroy lets a shot go. It didn't get through. Roenick tried to fire it into the far corner. He fired wide. Troy Murray is checked. Memesso starts away. He has Paul McLean with him. He gives it to McLean. McLean centers it. Memesso just failed to deflect it. McLean in front again, looking for Roberts. And Roberts couldn't get good wood on that rolling puck. Paul McLean dumps it in. Yanni goes back after it. Flipped it off the boards and out. 4 minutes remaining in the hockey game. 3-2. The Blackhawks lead the Blues. Doug Wilson dumps it in. Jeff Brown is back after it for the Blues. Having problems getting away from Savard. Savard almost stole it from him. Doug Wilson brings it back. He simply dumps it into the corner. 3:40 left in the game. 3-2, the Hawks lead. Up on the wing and in across the line. It's a 2-line pass. 3:32 remains in period 3. Mike Keenan pacing nervously back and forth behind the Chicago bench, and he goes to that ice bucket constantly during the course of the game. He chews on ice during the progress of a hockey game.
Don, and everybody thought I was chewing peanuts, but it's actually ice. It cools you down, and Keenan, a great coach, and really comes up in the playoffs with tremendous effort from his teams.
Manson to Presley. Presley backed up into his own zone before banking it off the boards as he anticipated that defenseman pinching in.
It's unusual that the Hawks could be able to nurse this 1-goal lead in this 3rd period, and as you look at Brian Sutter and intensity and everything else you want in a man behind a bench. Got full control of this club, but Bob Berry has done a fine job. He and assistant coach Joe Micheletti, but Bob Berry, the experience of a Berry, very similar to a Ted Sater in Boston, you know, helping out Mike Milbury. It's important. They've been head coaches. They know what you go through, and they've been a big asset to this organization.
Well, when Brian Sutter was hired by the Blues as their head coach, he was the youngest coach in team history. Just 32 years of age when he took on the job. But he had been a leader with the Blues. He served for 9 years as the team captain. Troy Murray flipped it to the corner. Lawler to Featherstone, up to Hull. He gives it to Oates. Oates drops it for Hull. There's his shot. Belfour deflected that up over top of the net. Kept in by the Blues. Now Doug Wilson gets it loose to Gilbert. Hull got back to check him. 2:50 remaining. Keith Brown picks up the loose puck and fires it back into St. Louis territory. Lemieux has played a strong game for Chicago. He gets it to Savard. Savard fired it to the far corner. Lemieux is there. Back of the net for Savard. Savard still controlling it. Out front, nobody in position. Brown fires it wide. It comes off the end boards, took a strange bounce, but fortunately for the Blues, they were able to pick it up. It's dumped down the ice, and this will be an icing call against St. Louis as Manson touches it with 2:12 left in the third. So the Chicago Blackhawks continue to cling to a one-goal lead as time runs down in period 3. I'm sure, Scotty, that Brett Hull, taking a breather now, will be back on the ice very shortly. They need his booming shots and his goal-scoring skills in the final 2 minutes.
You got one timeout left, and you want him pretty well for as much as you can of that 2 minutes.
Zezel with a neat move to avoid the check of Presley. Doug Wilson tried to fire it out. Zezel managed to keep it in and forces a face-off in the Chicago zone, something the Hawks really didn't want.
Well, Adam Creighton's been very aggressive this season. In fact, he's drawn some very foolish penalties in this playoff series. A little frustrated, a lot of intensity, but I have a theory with Creighton. He's played a lot of hockey, more this year than ever in his pro career, and he had a tremendous season, 34 goals. He's been in a horrendous slump for himself, but the fact that Keenan still plays him, he's been checking well, he's still a plus player, and he figures a lot in the Hawks' future.
Vincent Riendo got some advice from a teammate as Brian Sutter issued instructions as to what he wants him to do with this face-off in the Chicago zone. Brett Hull out on the ice. Zezel. The Cavalinis and Jeff Brown.
Zezel is tricky, Don. He'll use his feet as much as he'll use his stick on face-offs. If the puck doesn't go anywhere, you know, he's an excellent pro soccer player, Toronto Blizzards, and he's very strong on his feet and very good with them.
Rowanek against Zezel. The puck goes to the boards. Yanni raced in, tried to get it to the line. Kept in, now picked up by Rowanek. Rowanek comes out with Gilbert. He dumps it to the corner. Gilbert ties up his man. Rowanek tried to poke it free. It's still loose in that St. Louis zone. Gilbert couldn't go for the net as it was knocked away from him by Paul Cavallini. Gino Cavallini in across the line is checked. He gets it over to Zezel. Zezel moving in, the save by Belfour. That may have been a game saver right there.
And he didn't know where the rebound, I think it was Greg Gilbert, a Hawk, cleared it.
The net is empty as the Hawks try and force the Blues back in their own zone. They have the extra man out there. Belfour now plays it up in the glass, couldn't get it out. Adam Creighton finally gets it free, picked up by Larmer. Larmer at the empty net, it's blocked. Jeff Brown tried to play it off the glass, but he put it up too high and out of the zone. He blocked the shot by Larmer at the empty net. But what a save by Belfour on Zezel.
The rebound came right out. Some Hawk came in. It looked like it might have been the forward Gilbert, as he didn't know where it was. You might see it right here. The shot will come in from Zezel. Here's the save. I kicked it with it right to his stick, and there it is. Greg Gilbert that knocked the puck into the corner after Zezel. That quick move. Watch Zezel now. He moves it from the right skate up to the stick and creates the scoring chance. Get some real good replays on this one as Zezo thought he had it in, and finally looked like Cavallini was coming in for the rebound in the open net.
Cavallini indeed was swooping in there, but Gilbert knocked it away from him. But Ed Belfour has performed well for the Chicago Blackhawks. His first start in Game 4, he was a winner. And he has started again tonight and has made 20 saves so far. It's 3-2 Chicago, 44 seconds remaining. Brian Sutter has called a timeout.
The big play is you got the face-off right deep in your own end. You got to try to make to that center line, and nothing fancy, just drill it in, which gives the goaltender enough time to get close to that bench and you get the extra attacker on. Chicago's been a tremendous team, though. They weren't as strong tonight as they have in some games this season. In the playoffs, however, this 5-0 at the lead after second period and that big record in the regular season, that's when you have a good record during the regular season of defending. One loss when you look at 36 leads going into the third period.
Well, for this face-off in their own zone, they will have to send Vincent Riendo back into the net. What might Brian Sutter have been telling his team as to what the Blues should do as soon as they get it out of the zone?
I think what you have to make sure is if you're close to center ice, you got to take the gamble in getting it in as far as you can. If you get some speed in the neutral zone, you can't take a chance on plays in the neutral zone being broken up. You got the empty net. If they take, I'm sure he'll come out as soon as they gain possession.
Roenick against Oates.
Quite a testament to the way that Keenan thinks of Roenick.
Gilbert from the face-off, backhander off the shoulder of Riendo, and it goes to the far boards. Pried loose by the Hawks. Lead pass, or by the Blues, I should say. They were trying to hit Hull. And they just missed, and it's an icing call against St. Louis with 28 seconds remaining in the game.
Hawks nearly got caught asleep. Yanni hadn't moved over, and Hull lurked very well. He took the gamble that there was 3 Hawks against Troy Murray, and one of the 3 Blues rather, and one of the Blues defensemen just rifled that puck up the middle, nearly broke away Brett Hull.
Face-off back in the St. Louis zone, 28 seconds remaining. Brett Hull with a power play goal in the second period to bring the Blues within 1 goal after Chicago had scored 3 within a 2:16 span. But in the third, there has been no scoring. Mike Keenan continuing to move people around as he calls Troy Murray to the bench. And Keenan obviously has a lot of faith in Jeremy Roenick in that face-off circle. 2 rookies, Roenick against Brind'Amour.
Facing each other for the next 15 years, those two.
Behind his own net. Jeff Brown picks it up, moves it ahead to Cavallini. Lead pass, too far for Brind'Amour. Back after it goes Larmer. Another icing call against St. Louis. And Brind'Amour came in to deck the Chicago defenseman, and he seems to be protesting that he didn't hear the whistle, and that could very well be a fact.
Every second so precious. Steve Larmer showed his intelligence, so he could have touched it a second or 2 earlier. He looked around, nobody was coming, and finally when time ran out, he touched it. Knocked about 2 or 3 seconds off the clock. Just 14 seconds left. Face off deep in the St. Louis end.
Game 6 of this series takes place Saturday night in St. Louis. We'll have it for you on Hockey Night in Canada.
Really no need if you're Chicago to have more than one fella really going after the puck. As long as you got the 2 sides in the middle protected, it takes a long pass.
14 seconds remaining on the clock. Cavallini flips it ahead to Jeff Brown. He's stopped at the line by Murray. Fired back into the St. Louis zone. It's an icing call with 2 seconds left.
Going to ask you, Don, if hockey had a Hail Mary play, and they did. Paul Cavallini drilled it right up the middle, and Bob Murray actually touched it and nearly made the St. Louis player onside. I don't know if it was a left winger, it was Brindamore, and it just went outside the line. Otherwise, it would have been a breakaway with about 5 seconds.
2 seconds showing on the clock. The icing call brings the face-off back into the Chicago zone.
You know, Don, we look at the clock, we see 2 seconds. It also could be nearly 3 seconds. We don't have that tenth of a second on the clock, and sometimes it's nearer 3 than 2. The clock just ticked down. I thought it was going to stop at 3. They've thrown something right to the right of that face-off spot, or just behind it.
Well, there's going to be a delay because they're going to have to clean the ice again in the Chicago zone. And I don't imagine Brian Sutter is disappointed because he gets the opportunity to talk with his players, although they apparently aren't going to remove whatever it was that was thrown on the ice. It looks as though they're going to perform this face-off.
Zezel against Murray, Troy Murray. If you're the defensive centerman like Murray, about all you want is to make sure the puck doesn't go anywhere. Dive on the puck. Take a foul. There's pretty well nothing you should let go in this situation.
It'll be Zezel moving into that face-off circle against Roenick. 2 seconds remaining. Now the linesmen have to move over and caution the players as to the positioning they are attempting to gain in front of the goal.
If it ever gets behind Zezel, Hull's there.
Troy Murray again trying to move before the puck is dropped. He and Jeff Brown are lined up opposite each other. The draw comes back to Hull. There's the shot. It's blocked, and that's the game.
Zezel got the draw right back to Hull. And boy, oh boy, it was amazing that Hull shot. But the Hawks had the traffic going right in front to make the save.
So Mike Keenan and his Chicago Blackhawks take a 3-2 lead into St. Louis on Saturday night after their 3-2 victory here at Chicago Stadium tonight. Well, Zezel managed to get the draw.